anyway. So
yeah, man, let's click the button. People can hear us and see us right now. Look at that.
And
We did the thing.
hello, everybody.
I think they can. Yeah, everything works. I did it. I did
you
it,
didn't break
Ryan.
anything this time, Sean. It's all working now.
Give us the views.
Things will break if we have less than 4 people in the live thing. I'll have to do a little something, but that's fine. That's totally.
Yes,
actually,
that's
Corey, if you
happened
do
to
have to
us.
leave, even if you just leave your camera on, that'd be awesome.
No, I would.
Yeah.
I've done that with
just
3 dads.
leave your camera on and
Yeah.
My daughter suffers from night terrors. So when we're doing 3 dads sometimes, I have to run out and deal with the night terror. I'm just like,
Oh my gosh.
But we taught, like, that was the one thing Pez was like, can you just leave the camera on? Don't turn it off. Just walk away.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Joey Hare, Locklith, our first here. You guys are amazing. We're getting Bloodborne today.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Or here's a really.
that's a first party. That doesn't make any sense.
It's not a first party.
Well, hold the phone, Court, because
You're right. You know what? You are correct.
Actually.
No first
Oh,
party
wow, Jesus.
doesn't indicate that, because I remember one time at E3 that David Jaffe said there's no way that he would beat E3, and then he rode out on stage in an ice cream truck, on the E3 stage,
Fair,
announcing
fair.
Twisted Metal. So,
But this isn't E3. But did you see what? Well, because E3 is dead. But did you see someone put out on Twitter today? I think it was IGN. Jonathan Dornbush. He put out. He was like, people are gonna start looking for ciphers for the release date of God of War. Even though, as I said today, my prediction is it's 11/11 just to break the internet.
of course,
When
dude,
that happens,
just rub it in the face
I
of
still
Starfield.
think they're gonna do. We'll have this show today. It'll be PSVR third party, and then Xbox will have their show next weekend, and we'll have a great time at it. And then either the following weekend or the weekend after, PlayStation will be like, "Oh, by the way, we have a 45-minute show, and it's first party only."
I actually think it's entirely possible too that they just announced God of War's release date during Summer Game Fest, and then they do their own,
which is
and then they have their
possibility.
own God of War, state of play later.
My shirt's better than Sean.
I mean, I'm just wearing a Legend of Zelda shirt.
That's a great shirt.
That is a very good shirt.
That's awesome. Hey, Garrett Bland. Hey, Andrew Watson. Hey, William Outbreak in Discord. Everybody is here.
You know
Everyone's
what?
here.
I am going to call out a certain someone that's not here. It's you know what? He shows up for everybody else's chats.
Matt Sawinski.
Oh, is he doing his own stream? Is he doing his own stream though? I think
Bad
Kevin is. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah, Kevin's doing his own stream.
Yeah. All right. We'll allow. You know what, Kevin? Sorry.
Sorry, eh?
You know what, Kevin? You know
watch
what
him
I'll do?
show up. Watch him all of a sudden just pop out and go like,
You know what I'm
I
going to
know
do
I'm
for
doing my own
Kevin?
thing.
You can have up to 2 YouTube views while you're doing something. They allow that because I have YouTube Premium. I'm going to give him a view because he is always in our streams.
He is always in our streams. You're right. Hey,
what a
man,
nice
by the
guy.
way, the thing you're doing in the Discord is awesome. Everybody's sharing their stuff. Everybody's following each other. We're following everybody. Like that was a bit of a hit, my friend.
Well, you know what? I meant what I said in the Discord. We wouldn't have what we do without them.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that our YouTube channel was following them, our Twitter, because they are our community and they
Why
are
not?
Carpool Gaming.
Heck yes.
Which, by the way, I'm going to throw out there in case anyone missed it in the Discord. If you have a social media channel of some kind and we aren't following it on whatever platform it's on, please let Court Lalonde know in the Discord.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Court
literally
Lalonde
spent
on the
yesterday
Discord.
doing that, following people and then letting them know. We got a lot of, you know what? We got a lot of followers out of TikTok out of it. There you
James
go.
Halliday. Good to have you. Hey, yo. Locklith is not on social media.
That's okay.
Try.
It's not true.
Cato,
not
if you're
true at all.
listening, we wouldn't mind a follow back. Just hey Cato,
To follow, it sounds like a
Just saying.
Gwen
Are
Stefani
you trying to
song.
say that Kato doesn't follow us? Court?
She
Is
ain't
that-
no follow back girl? She ain't no follow.
100%. She ain't no follow back girl.
I want me off this call already.
That was pretty good,
10
Sean.
minutes into this and I'm already
That was
regretting
pretty good.
this.
I liked it.
I'm like, what
That's
does
okay.
that sound like?
Listen to this one. I bought my daughter Fudgios today for family fun night tomorrow, and she's never had one before.
Oh, game changing.
Oh, yeah. I gave her an Oreo a couple weeks ago, and that was a huge deal. So then she even got an Oreo Blizzard. Now we're gonna try Fudgios on Friday.
Oh my god.
And she had her first hot dog today.
Now, Sean, I want to throw something out here that Joey Splats mentions in the chat. Console Kato follows Joey's Flats, but doesn't follow us.
Oh, she follows us on Twitter.
Oh.
She doesn't follow us on TikTok. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. That's a difference then.
The real social media.
I'll give Kato.
Well, you know, I'm
pat.
trying here. I put out my first edited TikTok video inspired by Sean. I still don't like it. I wanted to have
somewhere.
I wanted to have a little bit of previously on, but I wanted to do the same thing.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah.
I wanted to be previously on, and I wanted to do a voiceover, and I was trying to do it, and I had my daughter here, and it sounded terrible. So I'm going to record a good previously on instead of Lost. Be like,
oh yeah,
Carpool Gaming.
24 had it as well.
Yeah, but Lost is the one I remember because it disappears, the word, and it's so good. Or SpongeBob had like the best one. We'll be right back.
Ryan just did Dragon Ball. I think Dragon Ball was a pretty good one too.
Well, there's that. You could do like last time on Dragon Ball Z.
It's very good.
Or you'll find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Wow.
Kind of like
there you go. There, he's right there.
Yeah, no,
Ryan
yeah.
Turford,
So I want to
ladies
record
and
that and
gentlemen.
have it so that we can do that a little at a previously on. Because I have Adobe Premiere. I have it on my computer, so now I put it on my phone so I can edit videos on there that are better than the TikTok app, and then I can put like little. I'm learning. It was an hour and a half today to do that, Sean. And so you were like, "Oh, it's gonna take." Nope, hour and a half
At first.
and it was a lot of effort. So
At
I'll get
first.
better, but it was a lot of effort. But hey, people are gonna love everything I do of the 30 hours I am with Sean because that is going to be documented. And Ryan, it's going to be well documented.
I'll be there
those
too.
30 hours.
We're
Yeah,
vlogging.
that's what I said.
We're vlogging. Toronto.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I'll be there on Saturday now. I think I mentioned it before. So in the chat.
Yes,
So
you
that'll
did.
be-
I forgot. You got the day off. This is awesome.
do have the day
Awesome
off,
sauce.
so I will
And I'm
actually
excited
do-
to go to that place. I saw which ones you picked. That's it'll be a great time.
Yeah.
You
We're
know,
going to see some of the people
Dude,
in the chat there.
I think I asked 4 or 5 people, like, what do you guys think of this place? Because Brock, he's like, let's do this or this or this. I'm like, I just need one. I don't know any of these things that are different or whatever. Like, I
Neither
just
do
need
I.
one. Pick one. So we picked one, and I'm like, I asked you, Ryan, Nagachaka, and a few others, and they're like, everybody said the same thing. Like, I'm old. I don't go anywhere. Sure. I have no idea about this place. It probably exists.
I looked at the one. I was like, okay, it's got a bigger area, so there's more talking. Then the one is like a long hallway. The place I used to go to is the place that Ryan and I spoke about before that is closed down, which was awesome. I used to love it. When you walk in, they had like Nintendo 64s hooked up to all the tables.
Yeah.
So instead of like, in the old style restaurants, the 50 ones, you had the diner where you could play music. Well,
Yeah.
this you just play Mario Kart at every table.
That's awesome.
Or
There was also
wrestling.
a big area you could go to as well to play Rock Band. So that's
Yeah.
what we did there, where
So
me,
good.
Drew, Brock, McLaughlin, and some other people were playing there. Man, that was great. That was
And they had like the Tron. They had all the great arcade setups there. They had Galaga, like some good. They had WrestleMania, which is one of my favorites. Arcade setup, like the arcade WrestleMania with Big Boss Man and everything. Oh, so good.
Yeah. But that's just what happens when we don't go to barcades for 3 years. Because
They
we
all
just
shut
couldn't-
down?
You couldn't really go out. So no, I mean that's why I haven't been to a lot of these places, because I mean I'd been to some before, but like they're basically all closed down now because of everything that happened.
Oh, I just don't get out anymore. I'm old.
Yeah.
I used to. I lived downtown for 11 years. I got out a lot, a little too much, you might say. But
No
now
judgment.
I go to bed like when I was on Secret Friends Unite. It got to a point where I'm like, yeah, so I gotta go because it's like
for real?
bedtime. Well,
Like
and it was
on the
funny.
show or post
Yeah,
show?
well, no, I told him. I gave him a hard out because we were
Yeah.
originally supposed to start at a certain time, and I'm so grateful that Todd had me on. I had a great time. I just
gotta
was
listen.
like, we started later, so I was like, I was like, this is gonna sound weird to you, but like, I need to go to bed. Sure enough, my daughter woke up at 5:30 a.m. the next day, and in all honesty, I choose to get up with my daughter. It's because it's that one thing. Like right now, for a longest time, my daughter was holding my hand walking down the stairs. That ended about 3 months ago, and it broke my heart.
Yep.
But she still wants to have breakfast with me every day.
Aw.
So I make sure that I get up with her. I'm a morning person anyways, so don't be annoyed with me, Sean. I'm a big morning person.
I'm up.
like,
I just leave my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm like,
I'm out of here. Like I wake up and
I'm
I'm like,
on and animated. So like when you on Sunday morning, I'm gonna be like, hey, what's going on? And you're gonna be like, what is wrong with you?
no, I don't think so. Well, I don't know if I'm getting up at 5:30 on Sunday. Like
No, that won't happen. but
that's not required.
No, it's not required at all.
What is happening? Something's happening.
If I remember correctly, the last time Sean was down, like he was waking up like, not super early or anything like that. So,
Dude, I was so sick and exhausted. Like I definitely needed to rest when I was there last time.
that's also true. Whereas I will still be, I don't care what you guys say. I'm still going to sleep till noon. So that's just what I'm going to do.
Well,
Although
you
I actually
can't
have to
on
wake up a
Sunday.
little
We
bit
have to be
earlier
there for
on
11:45. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
so you gotta
yeah.
be there. That was like
I'll
Sean.
actually-
I thought
Look
about
at Joey. Joey loves you, by the way. Do you have any idea how much Joey loves you? Joey Splats?
He's an awesome person.
So inspiring to me. I want to be that kind of dad if I'm lucky enough to have children. Joey's going to have like 14 kids.
I
He's
wish
just
I
going
could
to get
have more.
after it, Joey.
That's another story for another We the Gamer cast. Well, I only have one. That's what it is.
Court, as the actual host of the PlayStation Drive, what are we getting and what are we not getting today, according to you?
According to me, we are only getting third party. I've had many a conversation about this with Ryan, and I am in 100% agreement with him that we are most likely going to see Final Fantasy today.
Which one? 16?
For 7. It just makes sense.
Oh,
We disagree on that. I think it's 16.
You think it's 16? I think it's 7. I think we're getting the second part of the remake. I think we're going to see it today. Something about it.
Now, here's the thing. Square Enix has done this before. The last data play, they had like 4 trailers. So it's possible they give us both.
I think we're definitely seeing Square Enix.
I'm
Like, I
choosing
don't-
violence. I'm choosing chaos. Final Fantasy 9
Fair enough.
remake.
You doing that? Do you know that that's a thing?
Yep.
From the
And
from
I
the
do
Nvidia.
think we're going to see that
Making notes.
rumored possible Resistance VR game.
Yeah.
Resistance VR. Okay. Have you
So
guys done?
that counts. That doesn't count. Like, so they said they're going to be doing VR. I think PlayStation is. If you look at LinkedIn, which I did a little the last week, I've been looking at everybody's LinkedIn, and there's a lot of people from Sony, first party studios, working on VR games. I have a funny feeling that Sony is going to go all in on PSVR 2. Especially once we saw Horizon, and we know that that's not going to be here today because they've already shown the trailer. They showed it the other day. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Ghost of Tsushima experience of just riding the horse and going through the meadows because they have it built, right? They can do stuff like that. I have a funny feeling they're going to take all their first parties and they put out a game and they're going to be like, here's your experience of Ghost of Tsushima. Here's your Horizon experience.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Hi, my name's Sean. First time,
Yeah.
long time. You literally just said at the start that we are only getting third party. Are you saying for
VR 2 doesn't count.
Okay.
PSVR 2 does not count.
PSVR 2 doesn't count. They specifically said
They
the two
said that.
things-
They said that. Shu said, I love that jean jacket.
Dude, I was just gonna say, like, I wish I was cool enough to wear a jean jacket. Look at this cool guy.
What's going on? Matt and I literally had this conversation the last time he came straight from work. I was like, I really like that jean jacket.
What a cool dude.
I got my Final Fantasy 15 shirt ready to go.
So he's the same as me.
I'm
Let's
trying to
jump in the
summon
car.
Final Fantasy.
Is Final Fantasy 7 like the carpool game? Like Kato,
I love Final Fantasy.
because it's the
I
four
love
dudes
Final
in a
Fantasy
car.
7. I truly love Final Fantasy.
Wait, then who's who?
7.
Who's who?
Well,
Noctis?
I'm the oldest, so I guess I'm driver.
Hold on, wait, no. Final Fantasy 15 character.
I say 7.
I don't
I
remember
say we're
any of
getting
the
Final
characters
Fantasy
from
7
that gosh
remake.
darn game. So
Because when are we going to get that second
Okay,
part
you know
of Final
what?
Fantasy 7
Court,
remake?
Court is. I'm just gonna pull it. Court is Gladiolus. Okay. I feel like
hair.
Ryan would be Ignis. I put myself in Pronto and I put Sean as Noctis. I think that would be the
Yeah,
fourth.
not
one is the main character is officially confirmed.
Okay, hold on. Whoever
Confirmed.
designed that 4 of us at the bottom with the little Bobby in the that looked great.
Thanks, that was me. I just wanted to make sure everything was actually chopped out
Hey,
correctly.
look
Looks
at
looks
you.
that
That's,
actually works.
that's twice today I'm giving you a compliment.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks,
you
Court.
Sean's doing good work over here.
Thanks,
Guys,
Court.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see so much PSVR 2. Give me all of it.
I
You were
honestly
so
am
excited
excited
that
for
you, like,
PSVR 2. I want
raced
one.
home
My
to get here.
my wife really digged. A friend of mine has an Oculus, the Quest, and we borrowed it, and my wife loved it. So I was like, you know what? For the content, honey, we will get it.
Obviously.
For the
For the
content.
content.
For the
For the
content.
I've never played the Batman. Like I've never played the BR Batman. Never played it, and that is
Solid.
like
It's fun.
that's got my name written all over it.
What you mean to say, Court, that you like something that has Batman on it? I'm shocked.
I would never believe it.
Even.
No.
Do you guys mind if we take care of just something really quickly before the whole thing starts? We're all going to be watching on YouTube on Sony's channel. It says subtitled English. And if we can sync up our clocks, what I love about the way they do this is like this is as easy as it gets to make sure we're all looking at the same time. Since I'm streaming, if we can sync to like mine, I'll kind of give you like I'll just read out the times that we're hitting. It's like 9:10, 9, 8, 7.
I'm with you, dude.
6, 5.
Oh,
4,
I see what you mean. So we're not reacting
3.
behind.
Yeah. So just make sure that you're kind of with me. So if you get ahead, you can pause until I get to the point where you're at, or adjust as necessary.
Sean, I am 100% synced with you. I think Matt is also.
51.
Likewise.
50, 49. That kind of thing.
Everybody in the
Yes,
chat,
dude.
please. Usually I put this in the chat. Can you please like the stream? Please
Like
and thank
it.
you. I appreciate it. Please. Pretty please.
Freaking Matt's got like
I know
moonlighting
3
in
of those
there,
likes are. There's Kato. 3 of those
so
likes
good.
are. I used the 3 Dads channel and Xbox A and came in and already liked it. So
There you go. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Also, if you're somehow not subscribed already, please subscribe as well.
and Kato, you could follow back there, girl, on TikTok. I
She
see
ain't
you in
no
the chat.
follow back, girl.
Ryan, I have a big question for you today.
What's up, Matt?
What are we going to see from Blue Box today?
Oh,
We're gonna see absolutely nothing because they don't make real games that exist.
Because they just have masterpieces. That's why.
They
It's gonna
only
be
have their
spontaneously come out.
masterpieces are so good that they can't appear at the Sony.
Can I
showcase
ask a
because that'd be
question
too
here?
small.
would that Silent Hill game count as a third party?
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Holy poopies! They could break the internet right now.
Yeah, I mean, we already saw, Court, that Bloober
Kato.
Team is part of Summer Game Fest. Just
Yeah, I
throwing
know.
out-
I looked at that Summer Game Fest list and I was like, "There's gonna be some bangers announced." Wow.
That includes the Sony Xbox and Xbox showcases because they're technically both part of Summer Game Fest.
I
When
still
is the
think
Summer Game
Sony's
Fest
doing 2
opening?
though. It sounds like Sony's doing 2 showcases.
It's
They're splitting it
possible.
up.
My
I'm still-
money. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan. No. Go.
All right, I still think I'm still hedging my bets. I said it before and I'll say it again. God of War gets its own state of play, and that's the only other state of play they're doing this year.
Oh,
it could be
snap.
very well. It could be very. God of War will definitely get a state of play. It deserves it.
Yes, you are.
I-
Yes, we are.
I think we're going to get the God of War trailer and stuff actually at the Summer Game Fest opening. Because like Keely and PlayStation get along really well. We saw Last
Yep.
of Us at Game Awards, so I think we'll get it there.
He's got a
and then
point.
possibly a state of play closer to launch. But I think we are going to see it at like the Summer Game Fest like opening event.
That's
Yeah,
why he's
I
the
don't think
host.
we're going to get it here.
What,
That's literally
date,
what I
though,
said.
Matt?
I said that
What
earlier,
date?
but not as as much.
Come on,
as
Matt. What date do we want?
What date? Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I hope you're right on that 11/11.
Ah,
I so hope you're
For
right.
God of War.
Yeah,
it'd be-
such a
it would
gutty
be the
call.
great. It will be the greatest thing ever.
Oh, I know, dude.
Like, I know that you unlocked. The reason I put out my video today is because I was listening to the We the Gamer cast and I finally finished it today. Phenomenal episode. Everybody should
you.
check it out. And Luke was like, "Oh, 11/11." I'm like, oh, no. I did that last week. I am putting that out on the
mean-
internet to make sure everybody. Definitely. 11/11 would be the greatest thing ever.
How do you guys? You guys did a predictions episode with
Yes.
We did.
the tech with the specs.
Yes.
How are you how are you dealing with that? Because since then we've learned about this, what we're about to watch here, like where it's not first party stuff. How are you dealing with it?
Our predictions would be, as we said, Summer Games Fest. So until Summer
okay.
Games Fest is
Okay.
over,
Yeah, fair.
there is, and we did yay or nays. So as of right now, regardless, we'd be fine with regardless what gets announced today.
Do you want to
So
do
I
any?
have to,
Sorry.
I have to throw this out there. 'Cause, Summer Game Fest 2020 technically still hasn't ended yet because they never said it was over. They said it's
well
still going. So does that if Jeff Keighley doesn't say Summer Game Fest ends,
September.
what do you do from there?
September. When September ends,
Stop.
as the Green Day would like to say.
Yeah.
We don't need to bring that song up ever again.
No, ever.
Really?
That's a terrible song.
I
That's
hate that song. That's a
Oh,
good song.
you know what? You can all just kiss my bum, okay?
I mean, who wouldn't want to? Smoochy,
It's
smoochy,
pretty
smoochy.
hairy. I wouldn't touch it.
Ruined.
And that's where the stream went off the rails.
Matt, what's Final Fantasy doing today? We've all locked in Final Fantasy
16, dude.
predictions. 16? Okay,
16.
it's happening. We're seeing it.
Well, I was gonna say a certain someone bet $50 fantasy on it, so it better come true. That person it being.
Oh, and
that
you think it's coming out this year too?
I do, dude. I feel bullish about
Oh,
it.
dude,
I'm
he
feeling
wants
confident.
PlayStation Plus it. He almost
yeah.
PlayStation Plussed it. He
I almost
He came
premiumed
close.
it.
I'm writing
He
it
almost
down.
premiumed it.
I'm ready
I mean-
to go.
Close.
I'm
I
actually
think-
in agreement with Matt because it lines up with
It makes sense.
what the Final Fantasy 14 team is doing. Because the Final Fantasy 14 team are the ones making 16, and they're not going to want to do that and the next Final Fantasy 14 expansion in the same year because the next 14 expansion is coming out next year.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense unless it has to be delayed for them to announce it for this year.
So I want to make this clear. I don't like JRPGs, but I love Final Fantasy. It's the only one.
I think there's credence to that rumor that Forspoken's going to get pushed back further. Every time we've seen that game, it just feels like it's not entirely there yet. And I think the next few months, I mean, we already had like that almost 6-month push. I think it does get delayed further out, and I think Final Fantasy is going to step into that slot. I think that's this fall, which potentially means if we get Final Fantasy, if we get God of War, if we do get PSVR 2, Sony's going to have an absolutely monstrous fall.
Your hype levels are through the roof, dude.
I've had I've had so much coffee today in prepreration.
Let's
and
go.
In the car, I was like, safe, but also let's get home. So I was ready to go.
Let's get home.
So
Health
to answer
first.
Consul
We'll
Kato's
manage
question
health.
in the chat, Kato asks, "Will we see any Hogwarts Legacy?"
No,
today?"
it already had its
No.
own. No, it
Yeah.
already had its
None?
own.
We're still
None.
waiting for the.
We
release
already
date
had
for
its
that
own state of
one.
play. It already
but-
had its own state of play.
It still needs a release date, but I think that's a Summer Game Fest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
Also, real quick,
it's not a console exclusive, so it's easier.
Let's do this
just to
right
announce
now
it there.
before we get into it. Everybody got Audacity ready to go?
Oh Jesus! Thank you,
We
thank
don't
you.
need to-
See?
yeah, we don't need to start recording until after the show's over, though.
I know, but just
No,
just
he's
for
doing
the
it
sake
for
of-
me. He's doing it for me. Okay, people.
Just make sure
It's-
we have them up and ready to go.
something's happened in the past. I see what's going on.
Cord has
Ryan, do you want to
forgotten
log
last two
any other
episodes.
last minute predictions here? I've just got you saying Final Fantasy 16 and you agree with Ryan. Or you agree with Matt?
Believe it or not, Sean, I mean, I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. This is finally where we hear something about Persona. We're going to get that Persona July announcement or June announcement here. I think it'll be like.
Remember, I joked about
Persona
that.
We could
4
be so
Golden
disappointed by the end of this, you
comes
guys.
for PS5.
You know
Ryan,
what
come through
though?
with my
You know
heart.
what, Sean? I love hype, and I'm
So do
fine
I.
with disappointment
Same.
because I don't know why people are poo-poo things. Like, hype yourself up as much as you want. You know what? We don't live a long time. Have a good time with
I'm
life.
with you, dude. Hell yeah. You know what else we're
Also-
getting? A new Street Fighter 6 logo. Why not?
You know where else we're getting
You
PS6?
No
joke?
gameplay, just a new logo.
You
Okay,
joke,
fair enough.
Sean, but we might actually see Street Fighter 6 today. Because they
only got a
they're
half an hour here,
traditionally
people.
Focused with Sony, so I mean, if it's good, it'll be here
I'm down.
or at Summer Game.
I would think Summer Games Fest would be Street Fighter. It would make
I agree.
yeah.
bigger
Actually, didn't they
stage, right?
say we're going to get more information this summer? I feel like that's exactly what
Yeah,
they said when we got
Well, that's
the
what I
logo.
mean. It could be
There's-
at any.
Is it summer
That
now?
seems
I
to be
guess
the
it's
new-
Summer Game Fest.
What they talk about today that they were like, you'll get more information. Oh, Dragon Age.
Yeah, that's true.
But-
If
Then
Dragon Age
that-
shows up
that's
at PlayStation, I'd be blown away.
No, it wouldn't. No, they said that we'll hear more this summer, so it won't show up today.
And we already know Call of Duty probably won't be a thing today unless they're gonna talk about like also it's coming to VR kind of thing.
No,
Like, if those
it's
rumors
not
are
going to be a thing at all because it's not on their marketing list anymore.
Oh really?
It's not. So when they did their show just recently and they had their marketing partners, Call of Duty is no longer on the list. They're not even on the list anymore.
Wow.
Even though what's it called which is hilarious. What's the Bethesda game that they showed like
Elder
1,700
Scrolls?
times?
Oh.
No, it's already out. I didn't play it. My
Oh,
brain's not
Ghostwire?
working right now.
Ghostwire.
No, the
Ghostwire
one
to-
before that.
Deadpool.
Deathloop.
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 Deadpool.
That is still.
I just tried
Deathloop
to
is
be
still
fast.
on their list.
I was like, Family Feud, just like, I'm like, I don't know.
Deathloop is still on their list
my
as
God,
someone they
that's
have
a-
a marketing deal with.
That's a stream idea. We should do like a trivia, like buzz in style stream.
Oh,
Court was talking
Matt,
about putting a Jeopardy game.
So
directly together.
I am putting together I've been sending Sean, like, I have topics and they're good names.
Yep.
I believe.
And
You're
I
right,
already
they're good
know
names.
with Ryan versus Steve Vigvari would be unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, man.
40
I
seconds,
mean, I would
guys.
totally lose that round. We've already know this. Like, I don't know. why
Oh,
we're
throw in
really
Luke
doing it.
Lore? Oh my Jesus.
So very quick,
Um,
Ryan, I need to ask before we get into this. We already know we're seeing Horizon VR. What other first-party Horizon stuff, first-party VR stuff are we seeing?
I mean, Court mentioned earlier. I think Resistance VR
Resistance?
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
Any-
Astrobot.
Okay.
Oh,
Killzone.
please, Astrobot.
Killzone.
I think Killzone will be one of their live service games. That's what.
Okay.
I think.
That makes more sense.
Good
Let's
call.
see.
But I don't think we'll see that for VR. But real quick, right before it starts, Court, do we
Yes.
see the thing that leaked to on the PSN that I sent you earlier, or do we see that during Summer Game Fest? You
Summer
don't need
Game
to say what
Fest.
it is.
Summer
Here we
Games Fest.
go.
Here we
I want
go.
your official thing.
Chat, let me know about audio levels throughout.
Guard your ears just in case.
Oh my god, guys, it's a PS5.
All right, I'm taking notes right now. PS5 in the
Me too.
3/24/2023. Final Fantasy 16. Last of Us.
Can't be.
No, it
Music
is.
Sounds like it.
I can't hear it. It's not fair.
It's got VR for remake.
They do this to me.
Morpheus?
Resident Evil?
Oh, it is Resident Evil. That's gonna be Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4.
Let's go.
Here we go.
That's a
I'm
cool
so excited
one.
about this.
Why did I say The Last of Us first party? What an idiot I,
didn't.
am. I did.
Don't you're
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't
I
ever
agree
call
with you,
yourself
though.
don't ever call yourself an idiot again.
So stupid.
I know. I thought
Every time you do it, it's Will
sounds.
Ferrell. It's Will Ferrell.
Stupid. Idiot.
Is this an Unreal Engine, Ryan?
Guess you, me.
I think it's Unreal Engine 4.
Picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
Or RE Engine, actually, is what it's going to be. Just like the other Resident Evil games.
You will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
I don't really need any more than that. Let me pre-order.
Holy crap, that looks awesome. I can't wait for that.
If I could just
They're gonna
forget
give me
what
more?
happened that night,
Okay.
Well, this is Leon in the car, hanging out with his two dudes.
even for a second. This time,
Will actually
can
be
be
useful.
different.
That's the question.
It has to.
Now that we have PlayStation Plus, this will definitely be the type of game that we'll see in the
March
service
24th,
eventually.
2023.
Let's go. That's
What was
that's
it
right
about
around my
his
birthday.
sheepskin jacket appearing with permission? So, oh,
PSVR 2
snap.
content also in
terrifying.
development.
Infinite, Kato.
And now it begins.
State of Play returns.
That's
We're
a,
gonna
We've got
see a
some
lot of
great
stuff like that.
PlayStation
that has
updates to share with
PSVR
you today.
add-ons today.
that's
makes
a great,
sense.
Thanks to
kickoff.
Capcom
makes
for
sense.
kicking it
That's
off
a hard,
with
that's a strong way to
Resident
start.
Evil 4, coming to
They're going all in on
PSVR
PSVR 2.
2 content also in development. Now let's get a
They
sneak peek at 4 games in development.
Here's
for
more.
PlayStation
Here's more
VR 2.
Resident Evil for you, Kato.
Well, we got the Resident Evil 8 DLC. We knew this
PSVR
was
2.
The Village.
Now, let's take a look at him.
Okay, I'm so far behind you guys.
I
Oh,
told you
wow.
to sync up.
Well, Ethan,
That's your
It's
own
just
fault.
Resident Evil 8
you
in VR.
escaped my
Yeah.
brother's idiot game.
That's awesome.
Now the question
fast
is,
forward.
I was
Let's
gonna
see
play
how
it
special you are.
again. Like I started it. I was gonna keep
Yes,
playing.
yes.
Now do I just wait for the VR mode to play it then?
Yeah,
So that
I mean,
would
if
make
you
me
really
pee
want
my
to play it in
pants.
VR, Matt, I would just wait.
Yeah, I'd pee my pants if I did that. I go pee pee.
Resident Evil
scared.
7 in VR was amazing. So
It was terrifying, but yes, it was incredible.
I remember
Kato,
the
thank
demo
you.
when you walk out of the house. The Resident Evil 7, when they gave us that first demo. I was at E3 or whatever, and you go through the whole thing, and you walk out of the house, and the guy touched. Oh my god! Like I almost could not go to bed.
This is gonna. I feel like a lot of PSVR 2 players aren't going to even make it out of that first castle with Lady Dimitrescu because of VR.
yeah, probably. It
It's
is
gonna get
very
awkward,
creepy
eh?
in that castle.
Yeah, that's not what he's talking.
Imagine looking at, like, have you ever? I don't know how much VR you guys have ever played, but like I did a VR experience with Halo actually. Like Xbox hosted this thing a while back, and looking up at Master Chief, who is what 7 feet something. Like he's a tall dude, and it's crazy just to look up at. And I think like what's her name, Lady? What's her face? Looking up at her.
Dimitrescu.
Oh my gosh, that's too much. That's too much.
That looks pretty cool.
Okay, what do
I'd
I
play it
got?
again.
More
Yeah,
VR.
I know we did, Kato. Thanks.
You, of all people, have the audacity to question me? You, who emerged from the putrid waters of the bayou.
Oh, is
to
this Saints and
plunder
Sinners
our
2?
righteous
Yeah.
gains And cut
Yeah,
our
definitely.
throats like a demon.
For a second there, I was like, is it Dying Light 2?
That's what I was gonna
VR?
say.
But
That's
no,
what I thought.
Saints
to
and Sinners.
ensure the future of this forsaken city.
I need to go back to this. The first one's a lot of fun.
Who have brought nothing but chaos. When death was swallowing this city whole, it was I who resurrected it. It was I who shined as a beacon of hope for all. The tower cries out for blood, and I vow to spill it.
Yeah, spill that blood.
When the bells ring, the song they
I
sing
mean,
will
PSVR
be
2 is just the
righteous.
horror console. That's all you're playing on is just zombie games, Resident Evil.
Big scary games.
Welcome home,
Retribution.
tourist.
2022. So
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. Does that mean it's coming this year? Is PS4 2 actually coming this year?
They specifically didn't do that for Resident Evil, so I didn't
No
think they were
kidding.
going to mention
Did they
it till
just
the end of
out
the show.
the date?
Yeah.
No
Well,
Man's
they didn't
Sky.
give the exact date. They just said this year. So,
No, but for VR,
yeah. Well, obviously, yes.
right? Isn't that what that means? Is that what you're saying, Matt? Like
That's
the
what I'm
PSVR
thinking.
is 2022 because that game's coming
That's
out
what I'm
2022.
thinking.
That was a VR game.
Oh, No Man's
That
Sky
is
in
correct.
VR.
I would love to play this game in VR. Are you kidding
It's so
me?
much fun in VR, dude. It's so much fun.
This could be the killer app for me, dude.
Even on the like OG PSVR, it
Oh,
works
that
really
looks
well.
Awesome.
So if this is gonna run as well as it does on the OG with the new controllers and stuff, chef's kiss, guys. It's gonna be an unreal time.
Yeah.
Nice. Man,
Should
what a
be good.
comeback story. Good for them. I love it. You love to see
Well,
it.
don't call that a comeback, Sean.
I won't call
Don't
it a
call
comeback.
it a comeback. I've been here.
Here we go, Horizon.
Yeah.
Where are you taking me?
After
What are you
court said it
buying?
wouldn't even be.
I asked you a question.
Sony said it wouldn't be here.
Sony said it would be here. They said get ready for
No, they
That's
put
what I
out
was-
the trailer.
the tweet. Yeah, the tweet was get ready for more.
You're switching with me.
Sony said it would be here. They said get ready for
It's a snap mob.
Who's watching us that I can hear? Court.
Oh my God, Rayman Jam.
It's my setup. I'm sorry. It is.
We're
what it
gonna
is.
have to have a talk.
No, we're not. you don't pay me enough to get a new setup.
This looks beautiful.
It looks very pretty.
Climb the mountain.
I mean, this just shows how much of an improvement
why
PSVR 2 is going to be over the first
That's
one.
exactly what I was thinking. Those detached hands, though, I don't know. Just don't
Rayman hands. Man, fighting these machines is stressful enough. Like in the normal game, this is gonna be a whole nother thing in
Took
VR.
the words out of my mouth, man. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Would you like them back?
Do that.
Put him back.
Me
It's weird.
It will take all your
I
wisdom,
really want to play this game.
your
too.
skills, and courage.
I'm more curious to know the sound immersion. If the 3D audio comes through on it or not.
I would imagine so.
Now it is time to climb into the light.
That looks pretty good.
That's pretty
awesome.
good.
Oh no, thank you.
That's a big deal, dude.
I'm Ben McCaw,
Huge.
narrative director at Gorilla.
Could be the killer
I hope
app.
you enjoyed your first look at Horizon Call of the Mountain. Coming
While this interview's
exclusively
happening, Sean, I would
to
like you to
PlayStation
know
VR2.
that if you're watching the PlayStation State of Play chat, everyone's talking about Morbius 2 in the chat right now. I just want you
What
to know
is
that
going
that's
on
right.
with
There's a
this
reason.
thing?
There's a reason for that. Movie of the generation of
Yeah.
all generations.
It's Morbin time, Sean.
It's Morbin time. Oh,
So is
major
it like
update.
the new thing to like things that are terrible?
Yes.
Okay.
That's not a new thing.
Ooh,
People
ooh.
have been doing that for years.
Ooh.
Also, lots of updates for Horizon.
Ooh, such a beautiful game. Transmog. Ooh, nice. Reset. Ooh.
In case you want the game to be really, really hard, you guys, you can play it really on.
No, I play it
Hard.
on baby.
Kick it.
I play it every game just to let everybody know on baby
Out
mode
now.
at all.
Out now. Nice.
out meow.
Ooh, someone
right
might
now.
be playing a different game than MLB The Show. Oh my god.
Who?
excited. I'm definitely gonna play this again. I'm gonna play it on New Game Plus. I love this game.
I love it too.
I should probably play Horizon at some point.
Have
Yeah,
you
you
played
think?
it yet?
Get
One
ready.
day.
A PlayStation
One
I'll
day.
play it at
fan
some point.
favorite is coming to PC.
John, what did you think of Horizon?
Ooh, I
PlayStation
don't want to
fan
talk about it.
favorites PC.
I think this is Returnal, probably.
We have a great extra mile all about that.
These past few years.
Yo!
sacrificing
Oh,
so much
Spider-Man.
and Asking for nothing.
PC!
want to change
No way.
Wow.
This is so weird. Like, it's still first party. Like, they're breaking all the
Power of the
rules.
Steam Deck, Sean.
I did not
Play
expect
Spider-Man
this
Unity.
one.
So this kind of makes sense considering. Remember how we didn't get the PS5 version in PlayStation Plus? Because they probably didn't want to. They didn't want to like spoil the hey, it's on
That's
PC.
a great call. That's a great call.
Because we talked about that. We were like so confused. Like, why of all the games, Spider-Man wasn't the PS5 version?
Dude, this thing is going to sell like crazy.
It
I'm
will
getting it
destroy
again.
Steam.
I'm gonna-
It'll be the #1 game on Steam for.
I'm gonna be playing this on
Years.
Steam Deck real quick.
Ooh, well done.
August 12th.
2022.
Clothes on the
Wow, that's soon. All things considered.
Joey, I can
Wow,
finally
that's-
play Spider-Man. That's awesome. Look at that.
So that must mean Miles is going to follow probably, I would guess, next year.
Stray.
Oh, yes.
This game's
Stray
for Kato.
I'm excited about this.
I'm
Kato
so
game.
stoked on this. I hope it
I'm a big,
reviews
I
well.
love cats. It's a weird thing for me. I have 2 cats. I like cats.
I like cats. I want to. No.
No, they're going to pull a Last Guardian. Sometimes the cat just doesn't do what you want it to.
Oh God, that would be terrible.
Ooh, Jesus.
Oh,
This
cat
actually
is
looks
snake
really
confirmed.
good.
Yeah, I'm super in on this. I can't wait.
No.
I mean, I personally was not hyped for this game before.
Neither was
but
I.
Now that I'm seeing the gameplay, I'm like, all right, I'm kind of excited for this now. Because like we had no idea what we were doing in this game before, but now we have a pretty good idea.
Cat.
That's cute. That's man. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so-
Can we, is the cat
July
a name?
19th.
Here we
Can
go.
we name the cat?
That's soon.
I want to review this game.
I would also.
Explore a mysterious
I'm
cyber
ready
city
for
in
Matt to
Stray,
lose points in
coming to
fantasy
PS5 and
No, dude,
PS4
wait
July
for it.
9th.
I'm gonna
yeah,
pull
how
it.
about this?
PlayStation Plus
Everyone will
exclusive
beat me because I will have
Oh.
zero. I will have
What?
negative
What?
points.
cost when it launches
July
next
19th.
PlayStation Plus
Day
Premium.
Day PS
One.
Plus.
Let's go.
Ooh, let's go.
That's
What are all
dope.
those tiers?
Extra
I'm
and
so
premium.
confused.
So I think you get an extra and premium.
Hey,
It's just
Sean,
not at the
just listen
base
to the show. We talk about
Yeah.
it all the time.
Just
Yeah,
not at the base tier. Everything else.
So I like space.
I've heard space is cool.
Ooh,
Crap.
Take a look outside.
looks very cool though.
Did you know that they call
Looks very
Callisto the dead moon?
Obsidian type.
That's
but
what I was
not
thinking.
Obsidian. Nah.
I think this is Callisto Protocol.
Speaking of which, did you see they retweeted?
Fished you out of that wreck.
Ooh, they said this. Oh yes.
I think you're right.
Whatever you're holding on to right there.
Yes, you
Good
are.
call,
You're right.
Ryan.
Yes, let's
Your
go.
whole life. You gotta let that go.
I love Dead Space, so I'm still excited for this one.
Dead
cool.
Space is one of my favorite games.
Good
Oh
God.
man, that guy's head is
In
gone.
my hands.
Also, they confirmed this is not in the
Trying
PUBG
to
universe
give
anymore,
you a
which excites me more.
At rebirth. So
Look at that man's sweat.
Look at those back muscles.
We call them bustles.
Muscles.
Not gonna lie, this totally looks like Dead Space.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
I'm okay with that.
That was violent.
That's like if any studio out there wants to remake Bioshock but not call Bioshock, but give us Bioshock again, I'm in.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Shiobach.
sure.
gives me
Shia LaBeouf?
every time.
Just do it.
Oh my god, this looks good.
Good God. What
This
was just
looks
before
wild.
this? Wasn't it Stray just before
Stray,
this?
yeah.
Before this one.
That's
Kitty,
all right.
kitty.
Drastic change.
It makes sense.
Let's go. December 2022.
December
Let's
Wow.
2nd.
Sony's yikes.
Also
Yeah.
coming to Xbox.
Well, I was gonna say Callisto Protocol is also coming to Xbox. We don't, but they might have.
Sable.
We don't know if they have exclusivity of some
Hey,
kind.
so usually this happens to
think.
Sony every single thing. So what one of these games do you think is going to be day and date at Game Pass? Because it happens every time. They show a game and then it's like, oh, PS, it's day
Or
and
not
date at Game
Sable?
Pass.
Callisto Protocol. That'll be it.
So is this the makers of Sable?
The graphics look identical.
It looks
but
identical, yes. It looks cool though.
roller
Wow.
skating, gun shooting.
If this is like a multiplayer game, oh my goodness. Someone make this a multiplayer game, please.
System Shock. Good call. Okay, that didn't even come close.
I think it bounced off the wall. This looks like Tony Hawk and like Super Hot mixed together, and I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Designed by Cliff Blazinski. Looks cool, dude. It's like
It does. I love the art
graphic style-
direction.
Well, it's a little derivative. It looks like it's been we've seen it before, but that looks cool. Exclusive to
Roller
PlayStation.
Exclusive.
Although I don't know if we would see Xbox logos on any of these. Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
you won't see Xbox on anything here.
Final Fantasy.
I don't know. Nope.
Yeah.
But whatever this is, I'm interested.
Yeah, I mean, it's anime, Matt.
Ryan, we're in.
You can't do
Yeah.
that.
And I'm out.
And I'm more in. We got days. Ryan, we got a date system. We got a weather system.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's something.
I know.
We got
The big
days.
A weather system too, right?
Don't. Hey, you never know what you're gonna
The
get.
world hasn't ended yet.
I mean,
It's not
it's something.
I won't let anyone else get hurt.
I cannot judge based on these
Science in your corner?
trailers at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's got a motorcycle, Sean.
Exactly, like the
Does it get points for that?
To miss them.
It does. Hold hands, R2. Press
R2
it.
to hold hands.
We got waifus. We're in. We're in.
Yeah,
Well, you've also
thank
got
you, Matt.
visual novel, dating scenes too.
This game won't have any inappropriate scenes.
Game of
course
the
not.
generation.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do this.
This has got Ryan and Matt written all over.
What else can
You
it
And
better
do?
Garrett,
believe
and Garrett.
it.
Sorry, and Garrett as well.
It would also be pretty weird just having like a glowing arm like that all the time.
Maybe he's,
Early 2023.
You know, kids
Early
are just going to be
2023.
chopping off their arms, hoping that it grows back as a glowing thing.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Garrett Bland is also very excited.
Do
to
not
visit
recommend
Romance.
that.
That's what I just said, and Garrett Bland for sure.
In Eternites, coming to PS5 and PS4 next year.
I see the
Let's
appeal
check
with that
back in
one.
with Capcom for a new
maybe
look
we'll
at
get
an
that one.
upcoming heavy hitter.
Now you see the appeal?
Oh, is it gonna be Dragon's
Capcom?
Dogma, you guys? Dragon's Dogma 2? Maybe?
Street Fighter.
Oh, this is that game that they announced at the PS5 showcase that I'm blanking on.
The
No,
The one
price.
that's coming out
Fighter?
next year.
The-
Armada. That's the one.
The spaceman thing?
Nope.
Yeah, the space
Nope.
No?
Give us a new logo.
Street Fighter. Yeah, please give us a new logo.
for strength. It's not like a game.
They picked me out with Times
journey
Square.
doesn't have
Times
a
Square was
real-
in
Yeah,
the Pragmata trailer.
yeah, I agree with Ryan there.
Okay then. Hope you're ready to begin.
I'm loving the
You wanna
super
start
like
off on the
comic
right foot in
booky
this city.
style
Hit
to
the
it.
streets.
I do think the character models look much better than when we saw it the original trailer.
This is not Street Fighter, I don't think.
No, it
Or is it Final Fight, maybe?
I don't know why, but it like.
I think they
looks
said
like,
this is a story
it looks
mode.
Like it looks like
It says
Punch-Out.
it said story mode when it popped up.
Yeah. We saw a statue of Might Haggard.
So it's
all
Street
kinds
Fighter
of stuff.
story mode.
I think so because it said like thing, like it said Street Fighter on when Capcom popped up.
Chun-Li!
So it's like bad dudes.
Maybe it's Street Fighter.
I'm still pretty sure it's just Street
It might-
Fighter.
it might
6,
be
but-
Street
I think so. I think this is just the Street. I think this is just story mode. Maybe they're
I
actually
think
doing
it's Street
something
Fighter.
with
It
Yeah.
just maybe. You think?
it. Ryu is there. It might be Kingdom Hearts.
Well, that's the,
You know
the
what?
same model.
Hold on,
for
hold on a
Street-
second.
for-
It could be Kingdom Hearts. So let's just hold on.
Smash. It's Smash.
All of a sudden, Goofy just jumps into the screen. You're like, oh my god.
Yuck!
Sleeping Dogs 2. Can you imagine?
I would lose it.
Oh, I recently just finished that game again for like the 100th time.
How do we feel about Ryu's beard? I don't know about this. Luke Lord!
Then show me.
What are you talking about?
Luke. The guy's name is Luke.
Uh,
You know, if you synced up, then you'd be with us, so.
Yeah. That's Court's own fault.
but I don't know what you mean by like I can't fast forward the stream.
Well, not anymore.
Not with that attitude.
Yep, not with that attitude.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Eldorn digging the
Hey,
beard.
This
Alright.
looks.
I like the beard
It
too.
looks good. It looks really good.
I mean, I love fighting games, so I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Kato
Although
doesn't.
Street Fighter's lower on my tier list than a lot of other series.
Kato does not understand it. So basically, Kato in fighting games is you have two characters facing off against each other, and you beat the shit out of each other until their health
Hey,
runs out.
Kato is she's spicy potato today.
Okay,
like I'm
they've
just gonna
changed
say it right
slightly.
now. She is spicy.
I think that logo looks way better though.
I
I'm
do
sorry.
agree. I do think that logo is much better than the one before.
Kato, he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out eventually.
So
Give us a new logo.
Your moment. Your we did get a new logo. That one's different.
Is
a
that
new
different?
logo.
Is that better?
2023, not coming out this year.
What
Sean,
are you
we need to
thinking
officially
about?
drop that in
Our first
fantasy.
look at
fantasy.
Street Fighter 6.
We got 8 minutes left,
We need
guys.
to drop
It comes to
Street Fighter in fantasy, Sean.
PS4 and 2023.
Oh, I've already got something gonna replace it. What did it say? 2023? Hey, Tunic.
2023.
Arriving later this
Yeah,
year.
I mean there was never a doubt.
Yeah, We just had to grab it for $1 just in case.
This should
game
come
is
to
super cool.
PS Plus, whatever it's called.
It
Game
should.
Pass.
It should.
We got that tunic.
Hey,
play
the
this.
game
I
that
gotta
looks really
play
cool
this.
that is not that good.
Oh,
Yep, I said it.
Oh,
I said it.
But did you play it?
Sorry. Yes.
I've been enjoying it. I've been playing it on
I
Game Pass.
did not enjoy my time with it. You know what I decided? Stop making games that are like to beat me up. I just want to no. That's
But look at
not for me
that.
anymore. Not for me anymore. Yeah, look how beautiful it is, and then play it.
You do get smacked around.
And then you have to like go around to get the manual to figure out how to play the game, and then everything is in a language you don't understand. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out.
September
It's not for me.
22nd.
27.
No PS Plus.
27.
27. Something like that.
Season.
I like your sweater.
Set out to record life at the
Morbius?
season.
Riding bike, the
Make
game.
it real for people in the future.
Going towards house, sitting at table.
The art style in this game is so cool.
asked her about traveling alone.
When the
Bloodborne 2?
season ends, what will remain?
Dude, I think they could close it.
Please, Bloodborne 2 doesn't exist.
Bloodborne Remastered is what I'm
Unless
thinking.
it's Blue Box.
I mean, we got 7 minutes left and we haven't seen Final Fantasy yet.
Ooh,
Final
that's not
Fantasy
weird.
9.
Carries the sounds of the season.
Yeah, nothing from Square at a PlayStation conference? Weird.
They have 3 games coming out this fall. We have no release dates for them.
Don't worry about it. We got a huge, long trailer for whatever the hell this is.
I'm ready for the 7-minute trailer for Valkyrie Elysium to close the show just to make everyone mad.
I would quit.
I would love that because I'm very excited for that game.
Well, if it was Nintendo, they would close with Fire Emblem because you know that's everybody's favorite.
The world was telling her its secrets.
Brian Eck points out at least we're getting actual gameplay and not CG trailers.
I'm
Good
super
point.
stoked on this
It's
game.
strong,
It looks
strong point.
beautiful.
Happened to us
I'm really excited about this one.
when the season
I'm sure you are.
ends.
Is it, where's this on your hype list? Oh God, we're gonna be
Pretty
doing
high.
Is
We
it
have, get ready.
that. Every time he does a hype list, I'm just like, so I like 2 games right now.
Season
A letter to the future.
autumn 2022. Okay. No hard
Well, that is a
That
season.
seems like a nice autumn game.
That does seem like a...
Oh, Yoshi P!
Final Fantasy, see? Final Fantasy.
Sorry, we don't have anything to show you today, so here's Final Fantasy
Please be
9
excited.
remake.
Nah, it's him saying, hey, by the way,
Steam.
we're giving you the newest thing.
インタビューなども始まりますので、ぜひそちらも楽しみにお待ちください。今、世界には本当に様々な困難があります。僕ら
This
ゲー
year.
ム開発者にはゲームを一生懸
Do it this
命
year.
作るということしかできませ
It'll
ん。
be in the trailer.
ゲームというエンターテイ
But I
ンメン
wanna
トを
know
通じてゲーマーの皆さんが
Simmer
心の
down,
底から
No.
楽しめる
Oh, by the way, I've caught up. I've learned the tricks of the trade.
それでは
I told you you'd figure it out.
これらを
Yeah. Well, no, Kato made fun
All
of me.
right,
I figured
trailer
it that
time,
way.
guys. Let's go.
Oh, sorry, my apologies.
It's all been building for this.
Is this
Can't
it? Is this is it?
It's 16.
Yeah, it's a
No, but like, this is all like this is the last we've seen.
turmoil.
Well, we know it's only 30 minutes.
There
so
are
unless they have
those
something
who would
small
fight
after
to
this.
take back control.
See, it sounds pretty cool when we do it.
What are the dominants? The power we wield. It wears away at our very being. It breaks us.
Its voiceover is
Makes
already
us.
like a Final Fantasy
But
14
its
voiceover, and I'm so
immaculate
excited for
aspect
it.
might reveal itself.
It looks very cool.
The icon.
Oh my god, Square Enix makes this?
I should
I
say
was
below,
shocked.
like, but the good
Square
one.
Square Enix at a PlayStation conference? That's so weird.
Creative Decision at 3 made Heaven's Word, right, Ryan?
Wow, that is some.
Well, they're
awesome
just
fighting.
the team that makes 14 in general, like all the expansions.
So
This
Ryan, is
looks
this Unreal Engine 5?
No. This is the Luminous engine.
Okay. Well, it looks amazing.
Sean, are you gonna do this one?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
dude.
you are.
It looks very
you
good.
are.
You've also got that all-male choir in there with the music. Again, very reminiscent of 14's music. The music in that game is dope, by the way.
I think we should start an all-male choir.
Yeah.
We could do
I
Halo.
was, hey,
Final
weird,
Fantasy.
hey, fun fact, Court was in the choir as a kid.
Yeah, same here. Cumberbund and everything.
I did a solo. It's awkward.
I have like zero clue what the hell is going on here, and I'm totally in.
100%. I'm right with you. But it's Final Fantasy. It's just
There's
fun.
a bunch of political intrigue, and they've got these icons, which are these massive beings that are out there blowing stuff up.
I'm sure
So it's
Ryan
all
will do a video giving a whole recap of the whole thing for us, and we can just watch that.
Be prepared for an RPG Cave episode where I tell Garrett all about this.
See?
Look how many hit
This
points.
looks so
35,000.
cinematic. Like that's
Right?
It just
wild.
looks so good. It looks like no RPG I've ever seen.
It looks like looks like how when we played Final Fantasy VII for the first time, like when you have like a summon come on, it's like, oh my gosh, like show that to me again. That's what this looks like, but obviously, 2022. Phoenix, Titan, what is this, Ryan? These are the icons.
They're the different icons that they gotta take down.
Shiva,
Bahamut.
And they're all styled off all the older Final Fantasy summons from the previous.
There you go.
Just looks so good.
Yeah.
Release
And
date.
they do that. They do.
Date,
they fight them
here comes
in
date. Are we
14
getting a
as
date?
Here we go.
Date?
2025. Dude, the game kind of looks ready.
Cancel.
That's what I mean. I'm pretty sure it's this year.
There it is.
Summer
Eat
2023.
shit. Eat shit, bad
Wow,
bitch.
hey dude,
No.
dude, don't swear. No one needs that.
That also means Matt Sawinski's out
That's
$50
definitely a
on
swear.
Don't
fantasy.
forget to visit PlayStation.
Eat
Yeah,
poop,
well.
bad bit.
More about
Yeah,
today's
there you go.
announcements. See you next time.
2023. There it
All
is.
right.
It looked
All right,
very
all right.
good though. It looked very good.
Yeah. I'm actually very surprised that the release date is so far out, but I'm glad we know at least when to expect it now.
Agreed.
Also, gosh darn, that trailer looked rad.
Also, 2023.
very rad.
Are we gonna have time to play all these games? Jesus, effing!
Yeah. Between
Huge
those
games
two
in
games,
2023.
Starfield, Redfall.
It's like
We don't
it's
know
not
when
like these-
PSVR is coming out.
Yeah, they didn't announce it.
I mean, we are still assuming 2022 because of that one release date we saw.
Yeah,
that a
I'm
Jeff
with
Keighley
Ryan.
thing?
Yeah, maybe
We
at
don't,
Keeley's thing.
I feel like it's going to get its own state of play, like a dedicated PSVR 2 state of play.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Or-
why? You know
I
what?
think they'll
This-
announce the release
I'm
date.
gonna
in
I'm gonna
like a
do this.
blog.
It is a blog post.
Yeah.
On like a Tuesday at like 7:52 a.m.
It is a
I
blog
actu-
post. 100%.
I believe Court when he says this. I'm actually like on the same page with that. It'll be a
Friends-
tweet and a blog post.
Friends in the
All
chat,
right.
stick around. We are going to record a live episode of the PlayStation Drive, so don't you guys move. We are not done yet, so you guys go ahead and take it away. Court, you got to make sure that you got that there. Audacity.
I was
Audacity.
everyone should
Hold
make
on,
sure
hold on,
they're
hold on.
recording.
Thank you. You know what?
Recording
I'm
right
gonna
now.
also. That should have been a certain someone is supposed to remind me every time. The
do
host
what?
with the most.
He did remind
Matt.
you.
I did.
Well, he reminded me that.
You reminded me an hour and you like an
Yeah,
hour
like,
ago.
I was going to remind you again. Sean just did it first.
My brain doesn't work.
I knew it was a
Remember
joke,
this.
okay? I just didn't get it at
It
first.
was a joke. Was this a prank, bro?
Fine.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Oh, geez.
prank.
Well, I hit
Pretty
the record
good.
button, so I'm recording now.
Let's do it.
Oh wait, I got to do the thing. Should I do the intro video? Is that what you're waiting for? Hang on. I got it. Go.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another very special roll-along episode of the PlayStation Drive. This is mile number 54. We're going to get into it. With There's Been a State of Play, we have a supersized show, so let's get into it. I'm joined, as always, by the wonderful Captain Canada himself, Mr. Court Lalonde. Court, how you doing?
I'm great. Go Oilers tonight.
Yeah.
Go
Sorry.
oily people. And joining us today, we have returning to the show, the man on the moose himself, Mr. Ryan Turford. Ryan, what's up? I missed you so much.
I missed you guys too. By the way, go Avs.
Yeah. By the way, go oily Habs. And the man himself, the glorious, the beautiful, the effervescent Mr. Sean Capri. What's going on, Sean?
Feeling a little oily myself, but I demand that we start to have something click in for Ryan. He might even be the caveman on the moose as part of the RPG cave. I'm just
Oh,
wanting to
wow,
make
I
this
like
thing.
it.
This is a thing.
Well, next
Thank
week
you so much.
it's Ryan and I take over Carpool Gaming again, right? So
There you go. Yeah,
with Sean away and Matt away, it's Ryan and I again.
Oh, Sean claims he might appear.
So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Sean and I will be going out to get milk from the gas station next week. We'll see if we come back.
Never coming
All right.
back. Yep, pack of smokes, baby.
Yeah, baby. Without further ado, let's get into it. Everyone, before we get into really, make sure if you're watching us over on youtube.com right now at youtube.com/carpoolgaming, hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, ring that bell so that you know when all of the fantastic content over at Carpool Gaming goes live. You're going to know as soon as it hits. If you're listening to us on the podcast network of your choice, please hit us with that subscribe, that follow, that 5 stars. Leave us a review if you can. It helps us grow and reach more people all over the world. And if you want to donate, if you want to help us out even more, head over to patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where if you drop a tip in the old tip jar, out comes content, as Ryan always says, and it's just my favorite line. So please, if you could support us and help us make even more incredible stuff, go over there and do that. But guys, we're going to get into the state of play. We're going to get into all of that in just a minute. But I want to start by, just jamming a little bit, by throwing on a playlist, seeing what we've been up to real quick. Sean, I'm going to start with you. Sean, what's new? What's been going on? What have you been playing?
Nothing. Go to somebody else.
Moving on.
Pac-Man.
Excellent. I was just going to say, Sean and I have been playing the same thing, which is also on PlayStation.
Which is what, Ryan?
We've been playing Pac-Man Museum Plus.
I downloaded that because of you guys.
It's out on Xbox Game Pass, but it's also on PlayStation. I think it's a $20 purchase here in Canada, and I think it's even a little bit cheaper in the States. But it's basically a collection of 16 old school Pac-Man games from all kinds of generations. Whether it's the old arcade machines like the original Pac-Man, you've also got a bunch of Pac-Man games from the Super Famicom that weren't released in North America, like Pac in Time. You've also got a lot of Game Boy Advance Pac-Man games, as well as stuff like Pac-Man Championship Edition and Pac-Man 256. So I've been having a blast with this game. I like Pac-Man a lot. Sean and I talked about this on the Xbox Drive, but I think the two of us both agree Miss Pac-Man is definitely the superior version of Pac-Man, but Pac-Man's still pretty fun, and I'm really enjoying this collection. So if you like Pac-Man and you got $20 Canadian to throw at a game, I think this collection is pretty good. So it's definitely worth a look.
There you go. So go check out some Pac-Man. I also love Pac in Time. I think that's just brilliant. That's why I was giggling to myself. Court, what about you, my friend? What's been going on? What's new in the world of MLB The Show?
Yeah, exactly. New content dropped tomorrow. Lou Gehrig stuff dropped today. So I already finished the Lou Gehrig part. That all dropped today. But the new program starts tomorrow. But Court actually has been playing. Actually finished a game this weekend with his daughter. It wasn't on PlayStation. It was on the Nintendo Switch. But it is My Little Pony Maritime Adventure. My daughter is thoroughly enjoying this game. I can't thank Sean Capri enough convincing me to buy a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
influencer. She was home today. It's a PA day, and she's not feeling too great. So I was able just to undock the Switch, hand it over to her, and she's been playing My Little Pony. And we have played a ton of Switch sports today. But because of what we saw today in the state of play, I am 100% going to be playing Horizon after this show.
Yes, and we're going to get into that. As for myself, I've been playing Digimon World 3 on the on my Steam Deck using a PlayStation emulator. I loved those games growing up. I've decided to take a dip back into them, having a great time. And it's just been a nice little on-the-go experience revisiting my old Digimon pals. But folks, we got to slam the brakes because we have a bunch of news to get to. Before we get to the state of play, there's one news that we got to hit along the way, on the off-ramp onto the state of play. The PlayStation Plus monthly games for June for the Essential tier have been announced. We're getting God of War, Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Strikers, and Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Those are the 3 at the Essential tier for the month of June. They'll be available starting next Tuesday, June 7th, I want to say.
Yeah.
I know.
I know how you felt
dates
about this list, but I actually thought this list was awesome. Like, I understand God of War, it came out a long time ago, and for people that bought a PS5, they got it in the PS Plus collection. But anytime you put one of the best games of all time out there in any sort of way for anybody to get for free if they didn't have the PS Plus collection, it's a win. This is when I use the word masterpiece on a video game, it follows up with this game. Like, it's one of the best games I've ever played in my life. It's up there in my top 10 of all time. And you know what? Nickelodeon Brawl could probably be pretty fun to give it a whirl for 5 hours and never touch it again. But just having God of War in there just makes it perfect. It's just such a good game. It's just such a good game.
It is such a good game. Ryan, thoughts? What do you think about June's games?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same place with Court. I mean, I will say I'm a little more mad on it because I don't feel the same way about God of War as pretty much everyone else in the world. Where I just thought it was okay. I just personally like I saw the technical merits were there, and I can understand it's a masterpiece from game design perspective, but I just personally didn't enjoy it as much. Like I actually prefer the older God of War games because that's just Ryan Turfer. That's just how I operate. But and also Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers is actually a really bad game too. I mean, as someone who plays a lot of anime games and actually likes Naruto a lot, that game is not good. But I know from a certain person to my right that might look different on the actual screen itself. Sean Capri has played Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl quite a bit, and he says that game's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that. Thanks, Ryan. It is super fun. Yeah, God of War. I mean, this is a weird thing because you're right. Like many people who have a PlayStation probably have played God of War, so you might look at this and go like, "Cool game," but I don't really like whatever. We should never assume that the vast majority of people have played these amazing, wonderful games that are hallmarks of the damn platform. Like I look at when we went from PS3 to PS4, and there was some crazy number of people who owned a PS4 who had never played The Last of Us, and it was nuts. So I think that every day they're selling millions of or hundreds of thousands of PS5s, whatever's available. And a lot of people are coming into PlayStation for the very first time. So the fact that people can jump in and get God of War, one of the greatest games of all time, I'm with you, Court, kind of hands down, man. Like you have this list up against like what Xbox is doing with games with gold, and it's laughable. So there's no complaining on my part for this one.
See, I don't really have an issue with God of War being here. I think more my issue is the timing with PlayStation Plus launching this month, and God of War will be at the extra and the premium tiers. I would have rather this hit like a couple of months ago to at least give it that breathing room, because it's going to be like we said, it's going to be on the PlayStation Plus. It's already part of the the PS5 collection. It's just so everywhere that I would have rather this hit a month or two ago instead of hitting the same month that people are already going to be getting it for free if they haven't already, if they're subscribed at the extra or above tiers. So that's my only issue with it. Agreed, the game is fantastic. Everyone should play it. It's one of the all-time greats. I think for me, my bigger issue is just the timing of it. Naruto to Boruto, I have absolutely no feelings about. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Is that a real title?
It is a real title, and it is
a real title.
Not a good game.
And I've played a bunch of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. It's fine, but I think this is obviously very much like a, hey guys, I know Multiverse corner, but please check out Nickelodeon. That's what it feels like to me. Just the way that the game launched with that voice acting and stuff, like it really did hamper the experience for me. But like I don't know, we have Jimmy Neutron's dad coming, which is a choice. So
they're gonna get a bunch of new characters, so there's still DLC coming for this game. So
there is. So I guess we'll find out. Like, again, those games will be hitting very, very soon. And get stoked, get excited. You can download them.
Matt,
soon.
before I hate to interrupt you, but before we move on to the state of play, one thing I want to point out, because we're on the topic of PlayStation Plus, we got confirmation this morning, because this is kind of an update on the story you and Court have been talking about for a little while, which is the PlayStation Plus PS1 games. And the service went live in Japan this morning. And there was actually a couple videos that came out about this, because we knew that the PAL versions of PS1 games had come to the Malaysia region. But when they went live on the Japanese servers this morning, they were all the NTSC games. So I wanted to point that out here, because I know maybe you guys are going to talk about them more next week. But I think that's a pretty big story, because I think that gives us hope that maybe, just maybe, with PS Plus hitting North America in the next couple weeks, maybe we finally get the NTSC games instead of the PAL games. Like, I'm super happy to see that.
And Ryan, does that mean we won't get? Because I was watching some YouTube videos on, and they were showing like the stuttering and like the frame rate drops because it was the PAL games. If it's we're going to get better versions.
They'll be totally
of the games?
fixed. Okay. Totally fixed.
Yeah.
So I'm on that train. Please, because Digital Foundry did some videos on it. I was like, whoa, that's Ape Escape looked real bad.
Yeah. Mystic did a video this morning about it, and he was playing Ape Escape, and it ran at 60 frames per second flawlessly with no ghosting. So,
yeah,
awesome.
I'm hoping that'll be the kind of standard, because I know Ape Escape is the only, at least last I checked, Ape Escape was the only one confirmed for that, which is why I was waiting to bring it up to see if we get further confirmation from PlayStation. Because Ape Escape, from what I could tell from what I was reading, Ape Escape was the only one confirmed to be running at 60 frames with the NTSC version. So hopefully that will be across the board. And not a random one-off. So,
likewise, we also saw, a version of Jumping Flash on there, and Everyone's Golf that also was fixed as well, which were two of the problematic games from the Digital Foundry video. So I'm hoping this is good news for North America, but I just wanted to share that real quick before we get into the state of play.
And we appreciate that, Ryan.
We appreciate that so much, Ryan. All right, guys, we got the state of play. It kicked off. Summer Games Fest, aka E3 is not dead, live forever E3.
Nope. E3 is dead. Nope. It's dead.
Get out, Court.
It's dead.
We're
Forever.
gonna
This is
run
how
through.
I listen to you guys' show, by the way. Whenever Matt says something that I scream out loud, like, yeah, like fist pump and everything. People in the
feel
grocery
like
store are
that's
what
like
is
a
this guy
shot.
doing?
I feel like it's a shot. It's just a shot. You know.
Don't be
It's just a
sensitive.
shot.
It's not a shot. It's just.
I'm not being sensitive. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. You be that way, Sean.
It's a shot. I'm not even trying to hide it. It's a shot. Moving on.
Damn. Oh, I thought you meant me being a shot. I'm not making shots at anybody. Ryan's just so ashamed.
Anyways,
Worst state of play, Neil Blue Box. This wraps up the episode. Let's move on, folks. But in all seriousness, let's get into it. Our first announcement, starting off today's state of play. We got 30 minutes of coverage across third-party and PSVR 2 titles. The very first one coming March 24th, 2023. We saw Resident Evil 4, the remake, running on PS5. It was PS5 footage. We also found out that there's PSVR 2 content in development for the game. No outright confirmation about what that content will be, whether that'll be the game playable entirely or there's going to be some one-off modes, but we do know that there is content coming. Ryan, I'm going to go to you first because I feel like you're our resident horror man. How are you feeling about Resident Evil 4 coming back, being remade?
So I'm of two minds of this because on one hand, I've been saying for the longest time that Resident Evil 4, I don't think it needs a remake because as a longtime Resident Evil fan, because Resident Evil is like one of my favorite series of all time, as far as video games are concerned, it's a series that as like Resident Evil 4 in particular doesn't need a remake because it plays so well and it holds up so well. If you go back to play the original version of the game, I almost feel like it doesn't need a remake in the same way that a lot of other Resident Evil games do, like Code Veronica or Resident Evil 0 or, something like Resident Evil 1 maybe, is a candidate for getting another remake after the GameCube remake to have a version of it that doesn't play with take controls. But at the same time, this footage that we saw today looks awesome. And as a Resident Evil fan, as someone who loves Resident Evil 4, like, yeah, I think they sold me on this game more than I thought they would, and I can't wait to play this. I'm glad that we have a release date as well. We don't have too long to wait, although, it is March, so it's almost a year away. And it's almost just like a kind of like a mini birthday gift to me because it's, comes out 3 days after my birthday. So I am super stoked for Resident Evil 4. I'm curious to know what the VR footage content's going to be because it doesn't sound like the full game is going to be in VR, but maybe it's going to be like, because a lot of Resident Evil games have a lot of side modes, like the Mercenaries, where you're doing, killing a bunch of, enemies in a certain time frame and then kind of escaping an area. So maybe they do something like that in VR, and maybe that's what they do with the VR direction for this game, as opposed to doing the full game in it. Yeah, I'm just curious to see more, and I'm excited. March 24th of next year. I'm hyped for it. I can't wait for this game.
It's a coming. Court, how are your feelings on Resident Evil 4? Are you a big horror person?
I am not a big horror person, but I do like Dead Space and I do like Resident Evil. Those are probably the only two that I'll venture into. But I am definitely now that PlayStation Plus is a thing, I think a lot of Capcom and Square Enix games will end up on the service months after or year after, whatever. This is the, hey, I'll just wait for it to be on the service type game for me. It's not day and date thing. Resident Evil's not that thing for me that I'm like, I gotta go play it right away. I like some horror games. Dead Space definitely would be that, but yeah, Resident Evil's just, I'll play it, but I'm not like, oh, I gotta go play it type thing.
Sean, your face looked betrayed, hurt, and all kinds of things. Is this a day and date for you?
Hold on.
Not mad.
Good.
Just disappointed. Good. Not mad. Just disappointed.
I'm okay with it.
This is one of those games. Here's how I'll describe my reaction to this game. They just needed to show me the logo and the date, and I would have been happy. Like that's basically where I'm at with it. Just it's a real thing. It's coming out. They're putting their flag in the ground in March, 3 days after Ryan's birthday. You'd think they'd remember to put it on the real date, but happy belated to Ryan.
Yeah.
Little consideration next time, Capcom.
Come on, Capcom.
Dude, this game needs a remake. People need to play it. To my point earlier, not everybody's played this game. Not everybody has a Wii or a GameCube or whatever the hell this thing first came out on. Yes, please, one of the best games ever made. People should play it. And it really isn't. I will say this. It's not all that scary. Court, even you could play this game. I dare.
Oh, no, it has not the scary.
Say.
It's just, it doesn't, I don't know. Resident Evil, I don't know what it is. It's just like I played the last one and I was like, all right, like
yeah,
I didn't.
This is the one.
I finished it. It
This
was
is
just
the
like,
one.
whatever.
It's for the merchant alone. They should have had the merchant say, "What are you buying?"
It's like when
What are
people
you
tell me to go
selling?
play Persona and it's supposed to be this thing, and I'm like, no. It
Nope,
is
you
not
should
a
go play
thing.
Persona and
I'm
Resident
very
Evil.
excited.
Yeah, you should go play Persona. As for myself, I'm excited about this one. Resident Evil 4 was actually my first Resident Evil game back on the GameCube, and I think it's one of the few that I've actually finished, front to back. I don't remember it much because of the wee young age that I played it at, but I'm excited to have an opportunity to go back with it, kind of what I assume will be how I remember the game to be. So I'm excited to jump in. And kind of do that. I'm very curious about the PSVR 2 content. I'm hoping it's not just going to be some shooting galleries and stuff. That was PSVR 1. I'm hoping with the new controllers and everything that they're doing, I hope we get some robust content built around it. It'll be terrifying. I will be crying and being a giant baby about it, but I will still attempt to do it. But before we move on to the next part, folks, let's get into some stick shift where we rank the hype. Because this is the first game that we got out of the announcement, I'm going to put this in 1 for the time being, and we'll see whether it lives there for the rest of the state of play. But right now, stick shift number 1, level of hype, Resident Evil 4. The next thing that we got was confirmation that Resident Evil Village is coming to PSVR 2. This means that we didn't get a date or anything, but we did find out that it is coming fully remade. They showed off a bunch of gameplay, shooting multiple guns at the same time, floating hand stuff. It's going to be awesome. I think I'm actually going to wait to finish Resident Evil Village. I finished the castle, but I think I'm going to restart the game and never leave the castle and just hang out with Lady Dimitrescu for the rest of my life.
Damn.
That'll be fun for me and for everybody else. But anybody else?
Honestly, your controllers are going to get messy.
That's why I got the white ones. But moving on. Who's going to be jumping back in for PSVR 2 for Resident Evil Village?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it, when like a few months ago, we first, had PSVR 2 announced. I've talked about it on a bunch of times on the show where I get very motion sick in VR. So I didn't know if I wanted to, invest in another VR headset with PlayStation VR 2. But as Matt kind of pointed out to me when we were talking about it, that it's possible that, with the technology of PSVR 1, the original, like it could have just been that because of the way the games were running on that, maybe that was what was making me motion sick. So if I invest in this headset, then I will definitely play this because I love Resident Evil, as I talked about earlier. I loved Resident Evil 8. I think it's like an infinitely replayable game in a lot of ways because there's a lot of little things you can do each time and there's a bunch of different endings and stuff. So there is definitely reason for someone like me who's completed the game before to go back to it. And then to be able to do that in VR and have like almost like a brand new experience with it, especially because of how awesome they did of a job on Resident Evil 7 in VR, which I think that's like the definitive way to play that game. Like I can't wait to jump into this and play it again and get kind of spooked out.
Wasn't that the original demo for PSVR, like at E3, the kitchen, which was Resident Evil?
Yep. Yeah. Nice. Sean Court, any feelings? Are you going to be hopping back into Resident Evil 8 Village on PSVR 2?
No.
Okay.
I have an overall comment. First of all, Resident Evil 4 is my Resident Evil. So I was still kind of like lightheaded immediately after that. I don't know like when to get excited about this because we didn't get enough information about the PSVR 2. It's kind of like my overall commentary on this kind of thing. So yeah, there's games and that's great. And I think overall the games look better than I expected them to look as far as VR presentation goes on a live stream and that kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of opportunity for that to look bad. And I think those games, the games that we'll talk about more, look pretty decent. But yeah, like I don't know what to do with my hands at this point. Because I know you're doing it. I know you're going to do it.
We know what Matt is doing for sure. With white controllers.
When are we playing this thing? Like, how much is the VR? Like, I still have questions. I still have questions on this front. So I'm not all the way there, but yeah.
Okay. And just to throw it out there real quick, with Resident Evil 7, you didn't have to buy anything else. It was just an upgrade for the game that already existed. They basically just added on as an extra mode. So I imagine they'll do something similar with this, where as long as you own Resident Evil 8, you will probably get the
That's
VR
awesome.
Yep. I hope you're right, Ryan, because that would they already set a precedent. I would hope that they wouldn't go back on that. But I feel like the temperature check, Resident Evil 8 Village PSVR 2 slots in at number 2. I don't think that overtakes the hype for Resident Evil 4 as of yet. Everybody seemed much more excited about the first one.
I agree.
All right. The next announcement that we got, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 2 Retribution. We got a 2022 release window. They haven't confirmed anything as of yet, but this to me, folks, tells me that PSVR 2 will probably hit this year if they were willing to day and date this. I don't see this coming to the original PSVR. The original was already felt like a stretch on the original PSVR because it really did feel like it was pushing the capabilities a little bit, especially when it comes to the controllers and the way that your hands operated. So
and even the compatibility with the PS5.
Exactly.
Which is yikes right now.
Yeah. So that's what I'm feeling that this, as excited as I am because the first one is really good, I've been really enjoying my time with it. This almost tells me that the PSVR 2 is also imminent. Where are you guys out on this court? What do you think? Are we getting PSVR 2 this year? And how do you feel about Saints and Sinners 2?
I showing the 2022 makes me think yes, we are. Sony has done things in the last couple of weeks that I'm like, okay, maybe they are. COVID never bothered them or something. I don't know what it is. Because I thought for sure God of War was getting delayed, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, here is all our accessibility features, and it's getting rated in Korea, and oh, it's probably coming out this year." And now PSVR, you get a game that just gave us a 2022 date. Why would they even give us 2022 date if this peripheral wasn't coming out holiday?
So, Court, I've got breaking news.
Breaking news.
This comes to us from the PlayStation blog.
Oh, a blog post.
Confirms that this game is coming to PlayStation VR 1 and 2.
Okay. All right. Look at them being sneaky about it.
So everybody got mad at that, and that's why they're bringing the blog post.
Right. So, I mean, well, there's a blog post for all the games we saw today, and that was one specifically. So they mentioned specifically it's coming to PSVR 1 and 2.
Okay.
Which would then mean it will come to PSVR 1 this year, which doesn't confirm PSVR 2 is coming this year.
So, you know what? I take it all back. Does Sony even need to have it come out holiday 2022?
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah.
And this sounds weird, unless Xbox comes out and knocks the socks off us and says a whole bunch of stuff is coming out, but the dongle ain't going to move the needle. So if that's coming, like, if you're Sony right now, you're sitting in the driver's seat. If you know you're going to have a lot of one of your biggest first parties dropping this year, do you need to drop out a huge thing in PSVR 2 that could get overtaken by a game called God of War?
See, I think they still might, just because I feel like that's two different audiences. I think PSVR 2, even when it comes out, will still be a niche product. It's not going, like, A, it's going to be impossible to find, as we've seen with any new tech coming out right now. And B, people can still exist in both of those spaces without them overtaking one another. I don't see the PSVR 2 being this like massive hit at the beginning in terms of, getting to the general audiences. So I do think it's still possible. I just think that my biggest question is, will they have enough units ready to go for this year? I think it is ready. I think the games are, like, we've seen a bunch of games. I think they're pretty imminent / ready to go. My biggest question is, will they have enough physical units to make it worth launching if they're only going to have however many, right? Do they hold it till next year, make them more readily available, or do they do the first run this year and see what happens?
Or they release it at the same time as the next Spider-Man, and there's a VR mission in it that you can do with the next Spider-Man game.
That'd be cool.
So you're then selling the biggest property that Sony has, and then be like, oh, P.S., do you want to go swing around New York? Because you can do that on this thing.
Sean, any feelings about Saints and Sinners 2?
Not particular. I honestly thought the most interesting piece was that it may have hinted at the release date for PSVR 2. I'm not sure if I should congratulate and thank Ryan for the breaking news or condemn him for not paying attention to the damn podcast that he's on. He's out there surfing the web on Netscape Navigator or whatever it is.
On LimeWire, downloading music.
I'm just throwing shade. Apparently, no, very good. I can't.
All right. So that I'm going to slot that into number 3. We feel like the least hype about that. The next thing that we got was a confirmation that No Man's Sky will be coming to PS5 with the PSVR 2. It already exists on PS5, but it will be getting an update over onto PSVR 2. I'm hyped about this. I think this is awesome. The original No Man's Sky is already a fantastic win on PSVR. It's like my favorite way to play that game. So this is fantastic. I love that we're going to be hopefully getting a better mode for PSVR 2 rather than just being like, here, play the same old one. Court, how are we feeling about this?
If PSVR 2 is coming this year, this puts my hype level through the roof. This to me looks like a game that is a launch title for PSVR 2. It is a I dare to say a system seller because who wouldn't want to go fly around in space and go walk on different planets? And it just looked like an adventure. It looked like everything as kids we grew up and we're like pretending to do. And now I can just go do it in a game. Like the fact that you can like hop in your ship and then go fly out into space. Oh my God, I just want to do it. Like give me this now and I would play this over and over again.
Well,
I want to put it on like people that don't play video games on and often. This is one of those games where a friend that doesn't play video games all the time, you're like, put this headset on, go fly this spaceship. And they'd be like, what'd you just say? Go fly a spaceship.
Yep. It's awesome. And like I said, they already have a massively strong foundation with the PS4 VR version. Sean, you were pretty excited about this one. Well, how are you feeling about this temperature check?
Everything that Court just said, I echo 100%. Back when this game was being developed and there was a bunch of hype going on about it, we were all excited to see, could this be the one that launches into PSVR 1 at the time? And Sean Murray's like, we're just trying to get the game to work right now. So, yeah, like the fact that the game is so much bigger and so much better than it was back then, what an awesome opportunity at this point, too. I think you're right, Court. This could be a system seller to exactly everything you just said. I don't think I have anything to add other than I'm totally stoked about this as an opportunity. I still have questions about VR. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to do with my hands. Again, what am I supposed to do with these hands? Are they supposed to get excited or not? Like, when is it coming out? How much is it going to cost? Like, I have all these questions. So, like, I feel like I'm being teased a little bit, you know, and I don't like that all that much. But maybe I'm just the next bot coming in here.
They're getting you ready. They want you to buy in on the software before they even price the hardware, right? Like, I mean,
that's a good point. Yep, they're definitely doing that.
They are Sony.
Well,
right?
that's everybody. That really is everybody. Like, I don't mean to throw shade.
Well,
like,
that's
that is
the opposite
as much as I love my
approach.
Xbox, there's not much software they throw at us.
The one thing I will say is that's the exact opposite approach that they did with PSVR 1, though, where they sold you on the headset, and then they're like, here are these experiences that you can have.
Yeah, this is better. This is actually better.
This is the better method.
I agree.
And they're more
Telling you
games.
the
They're not
that
just
you want.
experiences. They look like full-fledged games.
That's a good call. What a difference.
Yeah.
So how hyped are we about this? Are we more hyped for this or Saints and Sinners 2?
Way more.
Way more for this.
This or Resident Evil 8 PSVR 2?
This.
I mean, I'm more excited for Resident Evil, but I'll give it to you guys.
I'm with No Man's Sky as well, for me personally. So let's scout that out. So that means that goes to number 2. PSVR 2, Resident Evil 8 drops to 3, and then Saints and Sinners drops to 4. The next thing that we got was actually Horizon Call of the Mountain. We saw gameplay of the PSVR 2 exclusive title. We saw climbing. We saw floating Rayman hands. We saw bow shooting. We saw a bunch of robot dinosaurs wrecking havoc. The game looks smooth. It looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful. Sean, as you and I feel like, you know, we reviewed Horizon Forbidden West together. We had differing opinions, but we also kind of met in the middle along the way. Are you excited for a PSVR 2 Horizon?
I'm such a bummer on this one. No, so it's good to just get it over with me going first. No, this game looks enormous. It looks expansive. It looks like all the things that we should want out of a VR game, but for some reason I can't quite comprehend how that's going to work. So it's very ambitious. Like, to me, like, that's the word I'll use to describe this one. It's just like holy crap, they're really going for it. It's not like a little like segment or sliver of a game. This looks very intense. And I don't know, man. I had a hard enough time fighting the robot dinosaurs in regular mode, let alone all the different, like, I don't know. It looks too hard to be. So I don't know how I'm going to control it.
Let me ask you this then, because I feel like part of our issue with Forbidden West was how big and how ultimately some parts of it didn't feel as important than others. If this is a more linear experience, does that make you more or less likely to play it?
No, I have my issues with this game and this franchise. I think, like, I just don't think that the characters involved are all that interesting. I think that the most interesting stuff is only glanced over, and it goes to places that I didn't really love anyway. So this is not the one that's going to get. Oddly enough, it's like this weird indie game about space and exploration and infinite planets. That I'm like, yeah, give that to me. And then this hallmark of a franchise in PlayStation that I'm like, nah, I'm okay. So that's where I'm at.
All right, Ryan, what about you?
I think this game looks awesome, and I can't wait to play it. I get it. I'm in but it's in the same case.
As you said, Sean, you have issues.
Where if I'm getting a PSVR, this is a day one game for me. And if I don't get a PSVR, then I'm not playing this. So yeah, I don't think this does enough dough to sell me on like I need a PSVR day one. But it's the drip feed effect, because between Horizon and No Man's Sky and Resident Evil Village, like I think it's starting to add up where I'm like, okay, I think I need to realistically start making plans for when I'm going to get this thing.
Court, what about you? Are you a day one PSVR tour?
Yes, and this game, one thing Sean did say, I was looking at the combat, I'm like, okay, because I know what the controls look like, so the controllers, sorry. So I was like, how am I moving and at the same time pulling back my bow, like in fight scenes? Because when you're fighting in Horizon, there's a lot of things going on when you're fighting just without VR. So I would really want to see what the combat's like, but just the traversal and exploring the world and like going in the water, like I just want to do that to see what it's like. I think that's so cool.
I'm with you. I can't wait to get stomped on by giant robot dinosaurs. Yeah, do it. Yeah, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan. Then you and I are the only ones. We can slot this wherever we want on our stick shift hype list. More or less than RE4?
So more than RE4, no.
Okay. More or less. Sorry, No Man's Sky or this?
Don't you dare.
I'd have to say this over No Man's Sky. I'm sorry, Sean.
Sean,
what do you think?
This is pretty damn near the bottom for me.
This is way down.
Don't care. Sorry.
Okay. Let's compromise then and slot it, because I am excited for No Man's Sky, but I'm also excited for this. But I think to compromise, let's slot it in at number 3. We're gonna slot Call of the Mountain at number 3, which bumps Resident Evil and Saints and Sinners down. I'm comfortable with that. Let's do that.
I mean, Sean, you got to give it to us that it looks better than Saints and Sinners.
Of course. And honestly, like don't make adjustments for me. Like, what do I know?
No, that's why we're adjusting together. We're a bunch of adjusting people.
We're friends, Sean.
Yeah,
we're friends.
Aww.
We're adjusters.
Look at us.
We're adjusting.
We're like
friends
insurance people.
Yeah. Look at us, insure. The next major update that we got was for Horizon Forbidden West. We got word that a major
adjusters, like an adjuster.
Adjusters.
They come over and come on, keep up.
Yeah, come on. They got a major update launching today. We got transmogs coming. We got a skill reset, ultra hard difficulty, and new game plus, new weapons and trophies, and it is out now. Court, how excited are you about this? Because you did say that this would pull you away from MLB The Show. What is it about this update that makes you want to dive back in?
Well, new game plus for me, and just going back into the world, just having anything different about the game, just so I can go back in. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I didn't platinum it. This gives me a reason to go back and go get that platinum, right? That'll start me at the beginning, and I know the stuff that I've missed, so I can go back and do it. I didn't, that one missable trophy, I did get it, but I'll be able to go. This gives me hey, let's go platinum a game. I thoroughly enjoyed the world. I really loved visiting certain sections of California or going out in the desert, just looking at the landmarks. Like Vegas to me, it was unreal to me to have that in a video game, and just the character dialogues. I couldn't believe how well they did the animations and how well that was done. So to me, I thoroughly enjoyed this game and the conversations. I did. I know Sean kept telling me the South Park thing, and it did go through my head a couple of times when I was having conversations, especially with the balloon ride guy. I was like, dude, seriously? But I do want to go back in and have some more fun with this game and be like, if we do New Game Plus and I've got everything at the very start, it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I think the New Game Plus and I think the transmog system for me are the kind of highlights out of this. I don't know if it's enough to kind of pull me back in without any sort of content or an expansion, but it definitely makes me think about it. Ryan, you famously have not even gotten around to Forbidden West yet. Does this update make you more likely to jump in sooner rather than later?
No, only because I'm waiting for like a big stretch of road where I can somehow fit this game in without having to worry about other games. And June is not the month to do that. I mean, we've got the Quarry next week. We've got AI, the Somnium Files at the end of the month. We got the Capcom Fighting Collection. We've got other games that may or may not be coming out this month that haven't been announced yet that we already kind of know about. If you're on the up and up. So at this
Teenage Mutant Ninja. That's what
you're saying.
We are all playing that game. Yep. That game drops. I will stop playing MLB The Show. It is over.
4-player team up.
Oh my God! Can I be Michelangelo? I want to be Michael.
dibs,
Called it.
dibs.
I want to be Leonardo.
Damn it.
Oh
God
no!
damn it.
I want to be
Damn it, I called
Raphael,
it
so
first.
Sean's Donatello.
Donatello.
That makes sense.
I'll take
That
Donatello.
makes sense. You got the glasses.
I'll take
Come
the
on
D.
now.
All right, I'll take the
I'll
D.
play on board.
You love the D.
So, getting back to your question about Horizon, Matt, I am excited about playing it at some point. I will definitely play it before the end of the year because I want to play it for game of the year conversations and stuff that we're gonna have as a group. But I think this is probably like a late July, August thing for me to jump into this game because at the time it came out, I was playing Elden Ring while also prepping for my move at the time, and I just didn't have time to fit the 60-hour game in there. So
Ryan,
I think July and August is probably the time.
There's no way you're gonna play this thing late July with Live Alive, with Xenoblade, with Digimon Survive. Let's just move it further down the calendar year.
Please,
it's not happening.
Matt, I'm never playing Digimon Survive ever.
Okay,
Ryan,
hold on.
you're gonna play it.
You know when he's playing this game? When it comes to PlayStation Plus next year.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Well, I mean, what ended up happening with Horizon, with Forbidden West when I first played it was I also didn't play that when it came out either. I waited until the end of November to play that game.
Hey, I'm gonna be clipping so many things out of this show because like Ryan has said like I agree with Court like 4 times, and now he just told me I'm not wrong. I almost cry. I might cry right now. I don't know what's going on.
It's a big day for you, Court. This has been a very long and hard episode so far, and I'm very proud. Let's keep her going. We got Spider-Man PC confirmation coming August 12th. There we go.
12th.
Yeah. August 12th coming to PC, and then we also got confirmation on the blog that Miles Morales will launch on PC in fall 2022, meaning those two will be coming quite closely back to back. Finally coming to PC. I'm very excited about this. An opportunity to take these on the go with me with the Steam Deck is 100% up my alley. The Steam Deck continues to be the PS Vita 2 as much as I want that to actually be a thing. I think this is awesome. I know this is a couple of the games, first-party games, that a lot of people have really been clamoring for and having an opportunity to play. So this is awesome. Just more accessibility and more ways to play these games is fantastic. Sean, where are we at on Spider-Man PC?
Put it on my PC and let me play. This game is amazing. Yes. Yes. This is something that I actually could see myself replaying. I don't really do that with a lot of games, but I mean, what do you say about Spider-Man that hasn't already been said? This is, I saw Joey in the chat, Joey Splats, good friend of ours in the chat. Like, now I can play it. Finally, I have the ability to play this game, and I think there's going to be a lot of people like that. This game is going to sell like freaking hotcakes, dude. Mm-hmm. This thing is going to explode whatever launcher. This could actually, you know what? This could justify PlayStation launching their own launcher, like, or establishing their own PC launcher. If people are like, if I got to go over to that thing to play Spider-Man, it might work.
PS Now already exists.
I was going to say, why don't you just put it in
PC?
PS Now? Like, that's... Mm-hmm. Like, they'll definitely won't right away. I don't think Sony's going to right away. But yes,
I just think as they get more into PC, like, what are they going to do? Is everything, like, what launcher? Is it just everything's on Steam?
This game will outsell any other game that's out there.
But I want trophies. Like, my big hang up with we talked about this. What did we play? God of War on PC. I want trophies on PC. Like, they've got to. It's great that these games are coming out on PC, but they got to up the game a little bit here. There's still
because then I could platinum it for the 3rd time. I've platinumed this game twice now.
Yeah, dude.
Me too.
PS4, PS5.
Likewise.
And I didn't do the cheesy platinum. I didn't do my save file. I went through it and played it again.
Court, you're a special guy. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I can't wait for this. It's going to be awesome. More people to play it. Where are we on the hype for Spider-Man PC? I'm ready to slot this into number 2. This is more hype for me than No Man's Sky, than Call of the Mountain. I'm ready to put this in number 2. Where are we at on this, folks?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
with you.
I'm agreeing with you. It's huge.
Oh yeah, baby.
It's Spider-Man, right? Like, we've talked about this before. I know Sean and I have talked about the most recognizable comic book character type things. Right now, Spider-Man is number 1. I would love to say it's Batman, but it's definitely Spider-Man right now.
Spider-Man is up there with like Mickey Mouse.
It's huge.
Of, like, international.
He's ginormous. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of the latest movie, but then it is what it is.
Yeah,
they actually Spider-Man movie. You don't like the latest Spider-Man movie?
I know it is. Not that I don't like it. I said it's all right. It's just not what everybody said. It wasn't this thing that everybody was like, it's the greatest thing ever. I'm like,
he's just mad that I didn't like the Batman, which is why he's doing this.
I would be
no,
mad
not
too.
at all, actually.
I'm not
but
impressed.
yeah, we'll get
like
back
that.
into you not liking the Batman. Like, that's just weird.
We'll get into it. The next announcement that we got was for Stray, the cute cat cyberpunky game, coming on July 19th. We got the announcement. It will be hitting the extra and the premium tiers of PlayStation Plus day and date. So that is a fantastic addition. I cannot wait for Stray. Ryan, are you going to play the cat game?
Yeah, I mean, I was not really excited for it with the first trailer because, don't get me wrong, it's cool that there's a video game about a cat, but we had no idea what we were doing in that game, so it was hard to be excited about it. But after seeing the gameplay and kind of seeing, what you're doing in this game, where you're doing some stealth stuff, you've got some combat in there, like this game looks rad. So I think this is a day one play for me in July, especially because it's on PlayStation Plus. Because I will definitely have the premium tier. I've already said on the show multiple times that I'm going in that direction. So yes, sign me up. I'm playing this game. It'll be great.
The one thing that I will say is that I really want PlayStation to figure out the branding, because it's so awesome for like when Xbox does their stuff that you see the Game Pass thing on the bottom, that it's coming to Series S, Series X, and Game Pass right off the drop. I want something along those lines because they didn't have this. It was an extra screen after. I
And
just
it
want
looked
them
weird.
It did look weird.
Good.
It did not look clean. So they need to figure that out. Court, where are you at on the cat game? You love cats.
What? I do like cats. Cats are cool. I already wanted to play this game before. The one thing I really like about this is not just that I want to play this game, that it's day and date on PlayStation Plus. This makes me have more of a hype for the PlayStation Plus as a service. What else games am I going to get day and date? Yes, this is an indie, but that's fine. Like if you think about this, when Resogun came out with the PlayStation 4, when it was day and date on PlayStation Plus, that game was unreal. Like I still love that game. So are we going to get more and more as PlayStation Plus evolves? Are we going to get, possibly a Final Fantasy? This is Sony telling me that they're going to give us other things day and date, just like Microsoft does with Game Pass. And that makes me a little bit more hyped about both of them. I love Game Pass. I love my Xbox. I love these services. I do. Like I have Disney Plus, I have Netflix, all that. So to have a Sony version of this service, when we've talked about it, they have some of the best catalogs of first-party games ever. So this gets me hyped. It does. I don't think I'm ever going to get a Sony first-party game day and date and any time in the near future, but I do think I might get a Capcom or Square Enix game day and date on this service. I do.
I agree with you. It does inspire more confidence that before this, it's even launched over here in North America, they're already talking about what's coming to the service soon. So that does make me excited. Sean, how are you feeling about Stray?
I'm not a cat person. I'm a dog person, and I want to play this game. I mean, I have a cat, but and it lives here, and we keep it alive. But that's all good.
I would hope so.
Here's my prediction for this game. Weird twist at the end. There's going to be some sort of weird twist inside where it's something happens.
The cat's actually a dog.
I like where your head's at on that. I'm thinking that the cat is actually creating the end of the world. Whatever is happening here, it's going towards. It's just going to make the whole world explode because this is what cats are doing. This is the new. Have you guys heard the conspiracy theory that birds aren't real? That birds aren't real? That they're actually government robots or whatever? It's a thing. Go look it up.
Makes so much sense.
Maybe
they're terrifying.
See,
did you go? That's a YouTube rabbit hole, isn't it?
My wife, I think, told me about this one. So
Sean runs that wiki. He's just trying to cover it up. And
no, Sean goes down rabbit holes. He goes down rabbit holes.
I send him to court every once in a while. I'm like, look at this. Look at this video.
He's a rabbit hole guy.
Look at it. All right. Where are we on the hype for Stray? Are we more or less excited than this than Spidey? Let's start there.
No, I'm not. It's Spidey's. No. You keep straight. The kitty cat ain't taking over the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man's going to eat that cat.
More or less than No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky still for me.
Yeah, I'd say No Man's Sky still too.
But I'm the game is imminent. We're playing it. We know when and where we're playing it. We have the
system. You'll play No Man's Sky right now.
What's that?
You can't get more imminent than No Man's Sky.
I'll just tape a monitor to my glasses. Is that the idea? Yeah, that'll work. No, I think this one might be only because it's coming and I have the system for it. I can actually play it.
I'm with you. This does make me more excited. As also because it's new. We know No Man's Sky. That's an established property. Something new. Whether it's going to be good or bad, hopefully good. Knock on wood, good. I really want this to be good. This does make me even more excited. And as the host, I'm just going to slam it in front of No Man's Sky.
Slam it, yeah.
All right.
He can do what he wants. You gotta learn this. I've already figured this out by now. I'm just along for the ride. I'm a passenger.
Yeah. The next one we got, as I titled, Shooty Roller Skatey. We got Roller Drome coming August 16th.
Shooty Roller Skatey.
You know it. August 16th. It looks like Tony Hawk, but on roller skates, but also shooting enemies along the way. It looked very much like a similar art style to Sable. The game looks pretty interesting. I think this one I need to see more of it before I'm completely sold. The movement looked cool, but it also looked a little stiff at points for a game where fluidity should kind of be the focus. Court, where are you at on Rollerdrome?
It looks cool, and I really hope it's like a day and date on the service. It looks like the perfect, hey, this is on PlayStation Plus. Game Pass does this a lot, where they give us these indie games that we were like, oh, it looks great. We play it. We're like, nah, but we still played it. Trek to Yome is a perfect example of something we all just played, and we're like, either we liked it or we didn't. Majority didn't seem to like it, but this seems like that game. They're going to give us a try, and this developer, we'll get to play it, and hopefully we like it, and then the next developer game won't be free on the service, and you'll want to go out and buy it.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I'm going to fact check myself very quickly here before.
It
I
also
speak,
looks like
Ryan,
Donut County. It has the same art direction as Donut County.
Yeah, or Sable, which is
Sable. Yeah, Sable's the
but
one.
Donut County came first, so I'm just going to go with the game that came first.
Okay, fair enough. Well, so
Ryan, where are you?
My daughter.
Ryan, where are you at on this one? Are you excited?
I'm actually kind of in the same position as you, Matt. I actually felt like, I'm glad you brought up the gameplay, because I felt like, I love the idea itself seems interesting, and I love the uniqueness of the game. Like, we don't really have, skateboarding gun games where you're shooting stuff and riding skateboards at the same time. But at the same time, it feels it like the gameplay itself looked a little stiff, and it just I can tell just by looking at it that I don't think the combat itself is gonna be as exciting as you'd probably hope for the game like this. Which, again, for someone like me with games like this, like combat or gameplay is kind of king, and if the gameplay doesn't stand up, or if it feels stiff, or if it doesn't feel perfect, then for me it's kind of a no-go. So for me, I'm like cautiously optimistic with this one, but it's definitely like, of all the games we talked about so far, it's probably the lowest game on my list, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and like it's interesting because this is coming from Roll 7, which is known for their fluidity with Ollie World. So that's why like I'm curious to see. Sean, any feelings, any strong opinions on Rollerdrome in either direction?
I have a very strong feeling about the fact that there was a distinct lack of disco in this trailer. We needed roller disco, man. Otherwise, I agree with everything that you guys are saying.
Nothing more than feelings.
All right. This for me, I agree with Ryan. This is at the bottom of the list for me.
Yep.
Where are you guys?
Yep. We're getting to the point now where like we have games that look like Fortnite, and we have games that look like this. Like repeating art styles is kind of like it's a bit of a turnoff, unfortunately, because it's very lovely. It's creative. I couldn't make it. But yeah, it looks like other things. So yeah,
I'm with you. The next trailer that we got was for the Calypso Protocol, looking very Dead Spacey, looking very horror-y, running around space, shooting aliens.
Can we just throw it at number one now? Get over this conversation. It's number one.
We'll see. Coming out December 2nd, 2022. Court, you're obviously stoked. Tell me more about why you're excited for Calypso Protocol.
So as a huge Dead Space was one of those games I remember playing excuse me, on the 360 that blew my mind. It was the first horror game that I played that I was like, nothing about it scared me. All I wanted to do was go more into the world. There's a point in it where you can like it was like almost like a game. It was like tennis or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about, Ryan? In that section where I played that over and over again, and I remember I just recently, one of the very first games that I replayed through Game Pass on EA Play on my Xbox Series X was Dead Space again. I just adore that game. Everything about it. It was just so original at the time. We really had never played anything like it. And it just such a great world, and it just seeing that trailer just had me. I'm just like, it had me at hello. Like, honestly, that was a Jerry Maguire moment right there. It had me at hello. I was in. When Sean talked about you just needed a title screen for Resident Evil, that's all you needed for me there. And I already knew I was going to like this game. And then when that guy's head disintegrated, I was all over the place loving it.
So, Court, let me ask you this before I jump to the others about their thoughts and feelings. Does this hit PlayStation Plus Extra or Premium?
I don't think it needs to. This is definitely this is going to be on X. Actually, you know what? I'll make a joke here, and it's probably end up being true. This has more likely a chance to be on Game Pass day and date than it does on PlayStation day and date.
All right, we'll see.
This seems like something that Microsoft will put a dump truck of money because they already have that, pedigree of doing stuff like that. Like I still think something we saw today will be day and date on Game Pass.
I think you're probably right. I'm just curious. Rollerdrome, like you mentioned, has that written all over. I'm curious to see where Calypso Protocol will land if it lands on any of the services. Ryan, thoughts, feelings?
Yeah,
Feeling.
pretty much said anything I was going to say. I love Dead Space. I think that game's amazing. It's one of my all-time favorite games. It was my second favorite game on the Xbox 360, and I just love that series. And we have like most of the people who worked on that game, who were working at Visceral when it got shut down by EA, working on this game, including the director Glenn Schofield. So, like, I'm stoked for this game. It's not the game I'm looking forward to the most from this. Which is why it's not definitely going to the number one spot. But
we won't
I am
even talk
very,
about that
very
game to the
excited
very
about
end.
that game.
Like,
Well, no. Actually, this is probably the third in the list of games I'm most excited about from this. So, yeah, I think this game looks great, and I can't wait to play it. And it's coming out this year, which is awesome news too. So, December 2nd, I can't wait to play this one.
Sean, oh my God! Like I look at if that's coming on December 2nd. I'm playing it 100%. I already know that Gotham Knights is coming out on my birthday. Just gonna say that one more time for everybody to hear. That game comes out on my birthday. And then there's Harry Potter. Well, sorry, Hogwarts Legacy. I won't call it Harry Potter. Hogwarts Legacy. There is a lot of games coming out in that holiday window. Jesus.
We'll see.
God of War possibly. Jesus, Murphy.
We'll see what actually lands. Sean, is the hype for this at the number one spot?
It is close, dude. Dead Space is a special game and has actually set the bar very high for this to reach. I think this game showed exceptionally well. We needed to see horror elements. We needed to see violence. I'm wondering about atmosphere a little bit. It does look very creepy. It looks a little... I don't know how to describe it, but like Dead Space is fairly, I would say, like traditional sci-fi. Like it's definitely influenced and inspired by things like Aliens and Event Horizon. I'm curious, like, where some of these themes are coming from, if not entirely just completely ripped off from Dead Space. Like, what else is here? It seems like there's something else happening, so I'm intrigued in the best way possible. Very violent. Didn't we just talk about Stray a second ago? So it was like cutesy kitty cat, and then we've got like one of the most violent things I've seen since maybe The Last of Us Part 2. Some of those early teasers that we were getting. So yeah, this is high up on the list. Releasing very close to Dead Space Remake, by the way, as well. We're going to be playing that. So, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So then, is this a number one slot or is this a number two slot? Because I feel like you guys are more amped on it than I was. I've never played Dead Space, and like this game does look cool.
Goodness.
Yeah, we've talked about this, Court. You told me not to bother playing the original and went to wait.
Because that's true. Okay.
Yeah. So this for me isn't a number one, but I would be willing. I understand the point for it. Is this a number one or a number two? Ryan, one or two?
Two.
Right now, it's my number one because now knowing also that Miles Morales is coming to PC, it's like...
Okay.
What's currently number one?
RE4.
No, number two. This is number two.
Okay. I agree.
Jesus, you're a little Resident Evil. Poopers.
I'm good with number two. The next thing that we got was obviously the game of the show, the game of Summer Games Fest. We got an anime action dating simulator called Eternites. Where somebody cut off their arm and then glowy power swords came out and there was a bunch of fighting. We got R2 for holding the hand. It seems like there is going to be a massive mix of a whole bunch of things in this game. Very anime, very, very dating simulator, very actiony. Coming early 2023. I'm excited about this. I love games like this, as ridiculous as they can be. Ryan, how are we feeling about this as the other resident weeb JRPG fanboy?
So I'm going to have the same kind of argument about this one that I had about Roller Dome, where I think that I love the idea of combining a dating sim with an action RPG like this. I think that's a great move, and I hope it's awesome, but for the same things I talked about with Roller Dome, I think the gameplay looked kind of stiff with this one, and I'm worried that the gameplay element of this is not going to be fun. And that's what I'm worried with this game. So that's why, I'm cautiously optimistic for this one. I love the idea and I love the concept. I like dating sims. So you would think that I would be all over this. But I am worried about the gameplay being an issue, especially because I imagine with a game like this, the combat itself is going to be like a large chunk of this game. And from what they showed me with that combat, it just didn't really impress me. So I just hope it's awesome. And yeah, it's definitely in there, but it's towards the bottom of the list for me as well with this one.
I'm with you. I'm not 100% sold. I am excited about the fact that it's a new IP and that we're getting something new. So I hope that it's going to be good. Sean, as a new weeb, as someone who is wading into the space, did anything about this trailer make you want to play this game?
The final screen where they show kind of like what the artwork is, kind of got some waifu action up in there. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe there's here, but in all seriousness, this trailer and even the name of it, like a lot of it did seem like it was a bunch of video game components jumbled up into a video game creating AI, and it spit out this trailer for us. I have jumped to conclusions in the past for games, especially like Scarlet Nexus is a very recent example where I was really not impressed with the reveal trailer, and I just kind of went, looks like every other JRPG like this, and that was a mistake. I actually quite liked Scarlet Nexus, so I'm actually, in this case, I'm holding off judgment on this game. I am intrigued to learn more. There's so much more to the feel of these games, to the characters. I like to play them with Japanese voice acting and subtitles, so that's not really conveyed here either. So I'm intrigued. I like that these are games. I am, like you said, I'm new to this style of game, so I'm gonna wait and see on this one.
I'm with you guys that it belongs towards the bottom of the list. So let me start here. Are we more or less hyped about this versus Call of the Mountain?
For me, this is above Rollerdrome, second from the bottom. So I'm just going to save you some time.
I can live with that.
Sure, I'm down with that.
Ryan's got the list like in his head. Like he's just like
we just talked about that game like 2 minutes ago, Sean. So I remember.
In one ear out the other. So
the next game that we got was a new showing of Street Fighter 6. We did get a slightly new logo, which definitely does look better than the one before. We got confirmation for 2023. We saw some of the story mode, which seemed like you kind of like running around some sort of hub and doing some stuff. We got another look at like an arcade mode, and along with some online battle hub stuff. So we did get a pretty decent showing, graphically looking very comic booky, with some of like this like the comic booky splash, almost like watercolor like paintings that flew across the screen. I'm not a big fighting guy, so this didn't really do much for me. Ryan, I'm going to throw to you for one of our resident fighting aficionados.
I was going to say, I think I'm like the only one of the team that actually really plays fighting games a lot. And I mean, Street Fighter, I've talked about it because I think we've been asked on the show on the PlayStation Drive before about what was like my hierarchy for fighting game franchises. And Street Fighter is actually pretty close to the bottom of the major franchises for me personally, just because I prefer more Arc System Works fighting games like Guilty Gear or even stuff like Dead or Alive or Soul Calibur. I'm just more of a fan of than Street Fighter. But I will say the gameplay of the fighting itself with the four characters that we got, Ryu, Chun-Li, and then two of the new characters that we got, I think that looks great. Like I think from a fighting sense, I think the game looks really sound. The story mode did nothing for me though. I'm sorry to say it did nothing for me from what we saw. I just wasn't really excited about, but that's not the reason I'm playing these games, unless they're Mortal Kombat or Injustice, because I think like the team at NetherRealm that works on Mortal Kombat, I think Ed Boon and his team does an amazing job telling stories in his games, and I always look forward to playing those campaigns. But there was nothing that this trailer kind of showed me from the story that got me excited to play through the story of this game. But the gameplay really sold me, and I'm pretty excited about this next entry. So I'm definitely going to play it. I like Street Fighter, and I can't wait to see more of the what characters are going to be in it. I mean, please bring Cammy back, because Cammy's the best. And I'm excited to see more of this game, more of just the fighting. But what do you guys think?
Indifferent. I have no feelings, Sean.
I want to play a demo of this story mode. I'd be very intrigued. I agree that I don't think it showed very well, but again, I think a lot of it has to do with feel and just what is the moment-to-moment gameplay. I don't know if they did a really good job of kind of showing that off. And also, we spent most of our time wondering what the heck the game was. So that might have been like, I know sometimes they go for like, oh, that is Street Fighter, like, and that's cool sometimes. But we did spend a majority of this trailer wondering, is this, what was the other one? Final Fight? You said, Ryan, like it could have been six different things.
Well, they had a statue for Mayor Mike Haggard, which was and he's from Final Fight. He's the mayor of the town in Final Fight.
Capcom's extended universe, right here, man.
There you go.
Yeah, confirmed.
Where are we tossing this? For me, this goes somewhere around Eternites, personally. But where are the rest of you feeling?
Yeah, I would put it right above Eternites because.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a little bit mixed. Again, definitely the story mode. It's a bit of a problem.
All right. Well, the next thing that we got confirmation was Tunic. It's coming September 27th. It's already out on Game Pass and Xbox and a bunch of other places. Very cute, old school Legend of Zelda like with the box. That's actually very difficult. It has some steep difficulty learning in its gameplay. So it's cool. It exists. We already know that it's coming, so I'm not even going to bother to slot this one because, again, this is just a confirmation that it's coming to PlayStation and not much more other than that. Anybody have anything they want to toss in about Tunic before we move on?
I just continue to be kind of perplexed at how PlayStation is going to continue this sort of thing where games come day and date into Game Pass and then you can just buy them on PlayStation and also a year later or 6 months later, whatever it is. That's a real thing. That's why I think you're reacting the way that you are. It's like, this is somewhere else. I could play it there. It's great. It's great for the game. More people get to play it. But as far as like competitive services are going, it's like, this is direct. You can see one side is doing something different than the other side, and this jumps out to me in that way.
The thing is with that, I wonder with this if this is going to be a later PlayStation Plus edition, because I'm sure Xbox signed some sort of exclusivity deals when it comes to these services. It already lives on Game Pass. I can't imagine the exclusivity deal will have only been like 4 or 5 months, because it'll be like what, max 6 months since launch to when it's coming to PlayStation.
Probably.
So this could be a later ad once it's leaving Game Pass. I think that is more likely, because I'm sure there's some deals on the back end that we just don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many layers to exclusivity we got to be looking for now. Goodness gracious.
So many layers.
Onions.
But it's a quality game, so I mean,
it is.
If we have PlayStation listeners that don't have an Xbox, I think it's worth checking out. So,
Agreed.
They all have gaming PCs though, Ryan. They don't need an Xbox. They have gaming PCs. They can play it over there too.
I forgot about that, Sean. I'm sorry.
How could you?
No knock on the quality of the game itself, because the game is really cool.
Yeah.
The next thing that we got was another look at Season. We got confirmation that it's coming autumn 2022. This is, if anyone remembers, a very atmospheric game where you're riding on a bike and there's something to do with like different elements of time depending on where you take the pictures and what happens. It looks very, very adventure based, very, very mellow and kind of interesting. I think the story is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited about this one. This is a game that I was really looking forward to from the first point that we saw it. I'm a little bit worried that it's going to go the way of Lake, that game that came to Xbox and is now also on PlayStation, because I played that on Game Pass and my God, I was bored. I played like in half an hour of it and put it right down. So I'm hoping they make the gameplay a little bit more interesting than the way that Lake showed, because seeing those bicycle rides, I'm a little bit worried that it might go the same direction. But I don't know. I'm still cautiously optimistic about it. Sean, you're nodding your head along with me. How are you feeling?
You're being very kind. I'm like, I was falling asleep during this piece. And this is nice. This is what we often see with PlayStation, a nice eclectic collection of games. This is not the Callisto Protocol. Like it's totally different, obviously totally opposite end. But yeah, I'm not, do I get excited about these games in general? No, and it did look a little boring, and up its own ass by calling it's releasing in autumn, not fall. Like,
Ryan, what about
how
you?
fancy?
Yeah, I wasn't falling asleep, but it's the type of game where it's like, this looks like it'll actually be fun when it comes out, but it's not the type of game I always get excited for in a showcase like this one. Whereas I'll be more excited when, like, maybe with just one trailer on YouTube, and then I'll play the game when it comes out, kind of thing. So yeah, I might actually check this one out when it comes out this autumn as opposed to this fall. But beyond that, I'm like, this is probably one of the lowest hype level games of the show. Speaking just about the trailer itself.
I'm hoping that this will be one of those things that once we get an actual release date, we also get that PlayStation Plus confirmation. It feels very much like an extra or premium tier game where, I hope we get an opportunity to play it. This for me goes under Street Fighter, but above Eternights. How are we feeling?
Yep, or that's exactly what I was going to say.
This is bottom of the. I mean, for whatever it's worth, don't change it for me, but this is like the bottom of the barrel for me, dude.
Fair enough. To each their own. And the final game that we got Final Fantasy 16. We got a brand new trailer. It is looking slick. It is looking cinematic. It is looking massive. We got a whole bunch of what were they called, Ryan? Icons?
Icons, yeah.
Icon, thank you. Icons, past summons from different games where we saw they're doing a whole bunch of massive battles going on. Unfortunately, but also fortunately, we did find out that it's coming summer 2023, so it is about a year away. I was hoping that it was going to hit sooner than that, but we did get at least a window, so we know when to expect it. The game is looking fantastic. I cannot wait for this game. Ryan, as our master Final Fantasy-er, how are you feeling about it?
I mean, it's one of my most anticipated games that we know about that's releasing in the next 12 months, essentially. Like, I'm stoked for this game. I will say this trailer, I wasn't excited for as much coming out of this trailer than I was the previous trailer, mainly because this one focused so much more on the combat, and I think while the combat looks good, it's probably not going to be the strongest suit for this game, where I think it's really going to be kind of like the political storyline that they have going on between the rival kingdoms, as well as, some of the stuff that's going on with the icons along with it. Whereas this trailer really was like, almost like, here are all the icons and they're all fighting each other, and that's kind of like the focus of this. And we have some like hand-to-hand combat sequences which look really cool. But beyond that, it was mostly like these giant two armies fighting each other, and then Titan and Garuda kind of go clashing, essentially. Which again is a cool thing on paper, but it's like I want to know more about the story, or maybe I don't. But it's just that the story is just the thing I'm most excited about for this game. So I'm still coming away with it being very, very hyped for this game. But this trailer in particular was less hyped than the last trailer for me personally.
I will agree with you that this trailer was very much more like style over substance. It was very loud, very flashy, and very big, which I think, either worked for you or you didn't. Sean, how about you? Again, as someone who came into Tales of Arise and Scarlet Nexus and ended up really enjoying them, how are you feeling about Final Fantasy 16?
Oddly enough, like, I wanted to get into Final Fantasy 15, and it seemed like it was designed for people like me, but I actually think this is more in line with what I am looking for in a Final Fantasy game to jump on in. So I am very excited by this game. I'm a little disappointed by the fact that you missed an opportunity to call Ryan an RPG caveman. So he's the RPG cave. Of course, he's not a caveman, but you guys know what I'm saying. This looked amazing to me. It had all the things. Like, it was very busy. I actually want to re-look at it from a higher quality. Like, we just watched it streaming, and I think that there's a better version of this trailer that we'll be able to watch very soon. Because one of the things that I have always looked for in a Final Fantasy game, whether I played it or not, is just how gorgeous they are. And the cinematics, like, Final Fantasy has for decades set the bar on like what is possible in video games. And I want to look at it again before I really come down on this. And it's like, this looked great. And maybe it's more of a commentary on like where other games have gotten to this point, but it's lost a bit of its step on that front. I think in terms of, is this the absolute greatest thing I've ever seen? I can't believe it's real kind of thing. Like that's usually my reaction to a Final Fantasy trailer. This isn't quite there. That's the worst thing that I can say about it, which really isn't to say all that much about it. I think it's not coming out in summer of 2023. I think this is just the first date that we'll get that will eventually slip. They've got quite a few months so that it can still land in 2023. That's my formal prediction. I'm just pessimistic because of the way things have been going over the last little while. But count me intrigued, man. This is a huge, huge exclusive on PS5. So kudos to PS5 owners and all that stuff. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, I'm incredibly hyped. I can't wait for this. Easily one of my most anticipated games, period. So that's why for me, this slams into number one. But again, Ryan, Sean, where are you guys at on this?
I'm sorry. This is number 2 for me.
Okay. You're hyped for Resident Evil 4 more.
And Sean, Sean probably knows where I'm going with this. I mean, Resident Evil 2 Remake is my favorite game of the Xbox One generation.
Okay.
And knowing what they're going to do with that game and also with taking the tone that we got from the trailer and where they're going with that, like, I can tell just by looking at that trailer that that's going to be like one of the best horror games that we're going to get this generation. So for me, I'm actually, believe it or not, after today, more excited for Resident Evil 4 Remake than Final Fantasy 16. I'm still excited for 16, especially because that trailer for 16 looked like a Final Fantasy 14 trailer with the music from Soken, because it sounds like Soken's doing the music for this. He did the music for 14 as well. I like, yes, I'm excited for both these games, but like Resident Evil 4 in particular, not only that, but it's something you guys had talked about before with kind of like immediacy with that. Like, I know we're getting Resident Evil 4 Remake in March. Like, that's going to be sooner. And to Sean's point, I actually think he's probably right about that. Like, Final Fantasy 16 is probably going to end up getting delayed because all the Final Fantasy games always get delayed. So this is like more like palpable for me. Like, I know I'm going to get that game sooner. So Resident Evil 4 is definitely my number one of the two, but only by like a smidge, not by a huge margin or anything.
All right. So then we have a number 2 call. Like I said, I'm happy with Sean. I'm going to ask you to tie break because again, you had hype for Resident Evil 4. You're also having hype for Final Fantasy 16. I'm prepared to put it at number 2 if you're the tiebreaker.
It's going number 1. This is
number
too big
one,
a deal.
baby!
This is too big a deal Final Fantasy 16. Only, and again, it kind of the smidge the other way of what Ryan was saying. We've played Resident Evil 4. This is not to take away. Obviously, I'm hyped for it. It was at the top spot. This is brand new. And it is an exclusive to PlayStation. Like, if you're listening to the show, you are a PlayStation fan, this is a huge deal. It's a return to me, and I can't wait to learn more, but it just seems like a bit of a return to form to the old days when Final Fantasy was exclusive to PlayStation. Not the oldest days when it was exclusive to Nintendo, but like the old days, like, you know, like 7 and 8. And that was.
But during those same days, Resident Evil was also exclusive to PlayStation.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But now it's not, and so that's why I think on the PlayStation Drive, after a PlayStation State of Play, Final Fantasy 16 I think showed very well. But what a good bookend. Like, really, what we're talking about here is the 1 and 2. You start the show really strong. You finish the show with Final Fantasy 16, of course. No Bloodborne. Bit of a complaint of mine. But that's not what you're asking. So I'll tie break in the favor of Final Fantasy 16.
All right. I'm happy to slam that into first place. Before we get into the one or two questions that we have, let's get just general thoughts. Ryan, how did you feel about this state of play as a whole?
So I actually thought this is a good state of play. I think we got a lot of really good sounding games. The fact that we had a couple games near the bottom, so there were definitely some games that we were not like super hyped for. But overall, I think it was a great selection of games, both from third party and actually, again, a pretty promising lineup for PSVR. The downside that comes along with it, though, is that, and this is something that I know we're going to talk about probably when we see the Xbox showcase in a couple weeks, is that almost everything here that's exciting is next year. The only thing that we're really getting that's super exciting, the only two things we're getting that we're super stoked about are Stray and Calypso Protocol for this year. Mm-hmm. Everything else is a next year game. It's a 2023 game, whether it's, you know, Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff is coming out next year. Mm-hmm. Which then begs the question, well, what are we playing this fall then? Because one of the questions we had on the Xbox Drive, you know, going into Summer Game Fest is, what are the games we're playing this fall? Because we don't know about any of them yet. Like, we know about a couple. We know about Pokemon on Nintendo, and some other stuff. And then, you know, Summer Game Fest and this showcase was supposed to, you know, inform us of the games we're going to play this year. And I feel like I'm excited for a lot of stuff here, but it is so far away. Like, even something like Resident Evil, for example, like, I'm super stoked for that game, but that's almost a year away at this point. So, obviously, you know, again, great selection of games here. I think they nailed it with this state of play. And it's definitely one of the best state of plays we've had over the last year. Yep. For sure, as far as content is concerned. I just wish everything wasn't so far away. But I'm curious to know what Sean thinks about this.
Sean?
I on the patreon.com/carpool gaming, patrons at the $3 tier and up can listen to Mr. Babbitt and I. He's the host of the PS Trophy Room. We have a show called Console Wars. We fight, and we spat some stuff last night. It's available right now if you go to patreon.com/carpool gaming. Little plug there. And my commentary to him is something that I'll reflect here as well, in that I'm wondering about this strategy that PlayStation is rolling out right now. Why are they doing this? Why didn't they have their own big deal showcase where they show third-party VR and especially first-party stuff? I think that they've missed the boat on that. I wonder what they've got in store with Jeff Keighley and how that will land. I question that as being their lead strategy. It seems to me that that's really the only place that we're going to get the date for God of War is maybe at the very end of a Jeff Keighley showcase. So I'm wondering how that's going to land. And if that's the only thing, is that so bad? Maybe not. So I'm just a little curious on that. Overall, though, I thought this was a strong showing. For the most part, definitely a lull, but it was kind of picked up with things like Stray was surprising to me. But yeah, a good mix. Spider-Man on PC, Donnie Reese, our local new member of the PC community, which is very awesome. So yeah, I thought it was really good. I'm just, to me and Ryan and I cannot wait to be watching the Xbox showcase in just over a week. Like, it does open up a huge opportunity for Xbox to come in and just crush it. It doesn't answer any questions about what we're playing this year, so I'm just a little questioning what the heck is going on, man. So that's kind of where I'm at on this.
See, I agree, and I see where you guys are coming from. This, for me, was the best state of play we've gotten in a long time. As a whole, start to finish, there were some lulls, but I feel like there was really kind of like a game here for everyone. There was something that somebody could walk away from being excited about thing. I understand the concerns about the distance and the timing of it all. For me, this just screams that they are going to be ready to go with God of War and The Last of Us remake at Keighley stuff. Here, they had Final Fantasy, they had stuff like the PSVR 2 titles that we've seen. They had if you think about it, they had Resident Evil 4 and Final Fantasy 16, two massive games that a lot of people are incredibly excited about. And to take the breath out of almost everything else that we'll probably see at Keighley stuff, they can rule this conversation, and I think they're going to rule that conversation if God of War is imminent, if Last of Us is also imminent, if both of those games are in Keighley's showcase and they're both hitting this year, nothing else shown from that showcase is going to matter, because nothing else is going to hit the same way and probably hit this year. I don't know what Xbox has on the docket for the rest of this year. Their biggest games have already been delayed out of this year. This to me says we're confident in our third parties, but we're even more confident by taking all the first party stuff out and letting it take over whatever Keighley's doing. That to me is how I'm feeling. Court, what about you? How did you feel about the state of play as a whole? How was it?
It was the first show that we've seen in a long time that had got my hype level. It actually got me more hype for the Xbox show that's going to happen next week. It finally felt like an E3 showcase that we hadn't. Yeah, look, Sean, look, I said A3. It finally felt like a showcase that we hadn't seen in a really long time.
You're saying this felt like E3? The state of play we just watched?
Yeah, I thought it was. I liked the fact that we got Resident Evil, we got Final Fantasy, we got big games. It wasn't just indie. I feel like everything we've gotten during COVID has just been like an indie showcase, or they show this one game, and this was the first time it was like, hey, here's stuff, and it's not just stuff. Here's stuff coming out this year and next year.
Mm-hmm. Here's stuff. And that's my biggest. And maybe to clarify what I was commenting on before,
I wasn't listening. That's
okay. This is a June showcase. Like, we're not messing around in June, okay? Like, we are here, we're playing for keeps. And I just, like, this was very good for a state of play, but it's a June state of play. So, like, my expectations are a little different. But, man, what am I saying? Like, Final Fantasy 16, rocked. Resident Evil, rocked. Callisto Protocol, totally amazing. Like, it straight totally surprised me. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, when we talk about E3, when we talk about June, we are slamming your face into the wall, my friends.
Yeah, but if we still get like what he was mentioning, if we get God of War and we get all that stuff, like I think what we traditionally thought of E3 and what everything was, that doesn't exist anymore. COVID just destroyed that, and it's never coming back. Now we're going to be getting
next Sunday, June 12th, Xbox baby. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I truly think I do think, but Nintendo started with Directs, and now Sony has their state of plays.
Yeah.
And that's just what we're going to, because if you think about it, if this was E3, then the Hogwarts Legacy thing never would have happened. So we wouldn't even have had that. So that would have been in on this, and then you would have had God of War with this, and you would have had whatever else they're going to announce. So then you'd be like, oh my God. Like, think about it. If they would have put in Last of Us, Hogwarts Legacy, and God of War in with all of this.
Yeah, that's what I would want.
Yeah, but that doesn't exist anymore. I think that's gone. Yeah, I think now giving themselves, like, giving Hogwarts Legacy its own beat for a little bit. Like, here, it's over there. And now they're going to God of War will, Keighley showcase, all of a sudden, God of War, boom. You'll have, like, the axe drop, and he'll be like, boy. And then everybody's going to lose their mind.
And then we're going to get a state of play with a deeper dive into that game anyway. I think the idea of this one massive press conference is just no longer a thing. We're going to get these kind of segmented pieces out across Keighley stuff, across the first part, like across their, internal stuff. I don't know if we're going to get that one massive showcase with all of it together anymore.
June 12th. You're breaking my heart, you guys. I don't want to change. I want E3 back. I want it the same. I don't want things to be different.
I agree with you. I loved E3. I love the fact that I got like a weekend of awesomeness. But I think that's gone forever. And I think Nintendo saw the writing on the wall before even COVID started.
Well, and Matt, you bring up a point that Bad Bit had as well on our Console Wars episode this week, in that what a ballsy and aggressive move on Sony's part. If that is truly what they're doing, and I agree with you, I expect to see something absolutely massive drop on Keighley's stage. That is the only reason they do that is to squash everything else in the show.
Yep.
Instead of doing what everybody said they should have been doing this entire time, which is why would they share the message with anybody else? They should do their own thing. And like, now they're not doing their own thing. They're doing Keighley's thing, but they're doing it to squash everything else. And it's like, what a ballsy, like, kind of a dickish move.
Did. Look what Xbox did that time when they announced the Series X.
Yeah.
They did it too. Xbox was like, "Hey, we had our own showcase. Oh, by the way, here's the Xbox Series
not
X."
in like December, not in November or anything.
No, I understand, but they still did a ballsy move where they dropped it instead of at a conference. They were like, "Here is the brand new console."
And the thing
now, I think Sony's being very smart. They started off this generation on the other foot, and they're trying to get it back. And doing this, and then letting Xbox have their showcase and be like, "Cool," and already knowing that their big game isn't even dropping, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we have God of War," and then there one more thing. It was like, "What happened if they give us Last of Us and Uncharted?" Like, oh my God, they could.
But why wouldn't you want that as part? Like, this is my frustration.
I agree with you.
Why
I
would
would
you
love
want that
it.
as part of a Sony show? Like, why not?
I agree with you. I just don't think it's a thing anymore. I just don't think it's a thing anymore.
It's happening next Sunday. Stop saying that. It's happening next Sunday.
Well, not only that, but
hold on.
thing's
You're
on the
saying
9th.
nothing Xbox is going to drop nothing at Keeley's show.
I think they're going to have their heaviest hitters at their own show.
I hope so. I hope so. It gotta be awesome because we're gonna be there. I really do hope so.
But what heavy hitters are you expecting to see out of the Xbox press conference? Because we had this. Keeley's thing will be before the Xbox one, right? So if PlayStation is actually setting themselves up for this 1-2 punch of here's an awesome state of play and here's us ruling Keeley's showcase, what are you expecting out of
when is Keeley's thing?
The 9th.
It's the 9th. So
Holy
next
snap.
year.
So that's what I'm
seriously.
saying. So we get this, we get Resident Evil, we get Final Fantasy. Next week we get potentially God of War, The Last of Us. And by the time Xbox rolls around for their big conference, the focus is going to be elsewhere. So that's what I'm asking. What are you expecting?
Oh, you think so? Do you think they don't have like a last go at like this is and we're guessing it Nintendo could be the Tuesday afterwards, but
yeah.
Potentially, but that's what I mean.
They could have the last say, or Nintendo comes in with the last say.
I think Matt's right. I definitely think we're going to see God of War at Keeley's showcase.
Yeah, because then the only thing that we're going to get at the Xbox conference, I don't think there's anything imminent, which is going to be the same problem that we just had with the state of play, that everything feels away.
And
right?
I'll say the same thing there as well. Yeah, there's no doubt. I don't know why.
But,
and Babbitt has the same question. I wish I had a better answer. I just feel like they're gearing up for something big. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why. It's just the Xbox plus Bethesda thing, which to me says probably Starfield gameplay, which I think will be a big deal, even though it's sad that it's delayed. Obviously, it's sad that it's delayed, but I'm interested to see what that game is going to play like. But I think there's more at play with this Bethesda thing than Starfield.
I think we get Indiana Jones. Straight up. I know
they have an hour and a half show. They
I think we're getting it. I don't think there's any Fable. There's way too much not good going on in the background on that right now.
Yeah.
From what you just read LinkedIn and you can see there's some bad stuff going on with that game.
I think
right
Hellblade's
now.
farther along. Like honestly, my dark horse pick.
Probably.
I think Hellblade's farther along than people are giving it credit for, and I think it could be
Doom,
this year.
Doom. We're getting a Doom. We're getting Quake.
I think Quake.
Like
I think we're getting Quake. I don't know what would we get in
Wolfenstein.
Doom. No,
I think Wolfenstein.
I think Machine Games is doing. I think they're doing Indiana Jones. I don't know that I'm believing the Wolfenstein hype.
It would only be Wolfenstein if they farmed it out to another studio.
Yeah,
fair
There's
enough.
another studio working.
Yeah,
but definitely, I think we do see gameplay of Indiana Jones because we saw the hat trailer, and it sounds like we're getting stuff from Contraband as well. So there's going to be a lot of gameplay of games. We'll see Redfall, we'll see Starfield. They'll have a lot, but remember, they're also going to have something at Keeley's show, and that could be Indiana Jones. They could do Indiana Jones before they're even showcased.
They could even do the teaser trailer at Keeley's and be like, get ready for more this Sunday. But
that's smart.
Over and over again.
They actually always usually do that.
Exactly.
They did that last year too, where they had something at Keeley's showcase and then they had something at the Xbox and their showcase afterwards.
This for me feels just like PlayStation throwing the first punch. They're going to follow up at Keeley's, and then we're going to see how Xbox follows up. Like that to me, that this is them going, we want to be first. We want to be on the docket. We want to be what people are talking about leading into this. And is what Xbox is going to show be enough to take away from the conversation of the possible hype of Last of Us and God of War hitting this year?
It's so crazy. This is why I love this season, man. Like, who cares what really happens? Who's right about whatever?
Yeah.
It's just interesting to me. You know, like I'm not mad, upset, or anything. I'm just like I'm really intrigued by the strategy, and we won't know exactly what that is until it all plays out. But dude, this is awesome. Like this is why it all should happen now.
This is Sony owning the week. Not just the day. They own the week now. They own the news week because everybody's going to be talking about this.
No, we're still talking about those handsome Pokemon trainers, my friend.
Yo!
Are we though? Are we?
Yes.
Yeah, they kind of look like Matt.
I
Actually, that
thought
dude
the
looks like Matt.
conversation I'm pretty sure the conversation shifted, Sean, to whether or not Sonic Frontiers looks like a worse game than Sonic 06. 'Cause that's what I saw yesterday.
There's lots going on, dude, right now, and this is the best thing. And you guys are kind of right about one thing that I don't even know if you specifically said it. Usually before E3, we do get a bunch of news and reveals and things that kind of don't hit the main stage, but there's usually a bit of a rush of news. We always forget about it, and it always happens. And I think this is maybe a different version of that. And that's maybe me wrapping my head around what the heck is Sony doing. Maybe this is a version of that. If I look back, first week of June 2021, there was stuff. Maybe this is them just capturing it in a state of play.
Yep, I think you're right. But let's bring this conversation on home. Let's recap our final stick shift list for the state of play. Final Fantasy 16 at number 1, Resident Evil 4 at number 2, Calypso Protocol at number 3, Spidey at number 4, Stray at number 5, No Man's Sky at number 6, Call to the Mountain at number 7, RE8, followed by Saints and Sinners 2, then Street Fighter 6, Seasons, Eternites, and on the last, Roller Drome, closing out the list. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a fantastic experience. But before we go, Ryan, if people wanted to find more of you, where could they do so?
Well, they can do so over at Ryan Turford on Twitter. It's Morbin time all the time, according to Captain Logan. Also, whenever, Blue Blocks, Studios has something to say, I'll be saying it over there. So you can find me over on Twitter at Ryan Turford. Sean, where can people find you?
Find me in Canada and also on the internet on Twitter and on Twitch at Sean Capri. Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants.
That's right. And go to Sean for all of the deep Jar Jar lore. Court, what about yourself? Where can people find you?
You can find me on the internet as well, and you can also find me on Twitter at Court Lalonde. You can also find me every Wednesday live on YouTube for 3 Dads and a Console, and you can find me every now and then on Xbox A. Also, you can also find me on TikTok at the Carpool Gaming TikTok, and you can also find me on Twitter at Carpool Gaming and all social media profiles for Carpool Gaming.
That's right, and Court is absolutely killing the game, so make sure you go see his stuff and everything over at Carpool Gaming. As for myself, you can find me over on Burnout Matt on Twitter, or you can find me over at youtube.com/burnoutbrighter, where we do all things video games, mental health, and social justice. But that, my friends, brings us to the end. Once again, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. Head to patreon.com/carpoolgaming for an immense amount of awesome content, including Console Wars at the $3 level, if you want to hear more about Sean's thoughts about what happened this week. But everyone, this brings us to the next one. We will see you on the next lap. We'll see you very soon. Peace out.
See you next time.
Night, everyone.